interview with Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports. And I said going into the last break, how did the greatest era of Nuggets basketball get so toxic to the point where it was blown up? And I think that, and we were just having this conversation with our guy Alex here in the commercial break. This story that happened, the Cold War between Calvin Booth, general manager, and Coach Michael Malone, at the tail end of a championship run where something was done in Denver that had never, ever been done. In fact, it had never been close to getting done, with all due respect to previous eras of Alex English and the Doug Moe's Nuggets in the 80s and George Karl's team. And
not even close.
The Nuggets had never appeared in the finals.
No.
And just a couple times in their team's history in the Western Conference Finals. So to not only just win a championship, but to steamroll your competition. There was 20 total games played on a title run. Denver went 16-4. It was remarkable. And so how did it get so bad?
So toxic.
Truly. And Calvin Booth sat down and did an interview with Kevin O'Connor, the same guy that he gave an interview to and thought he was off the record when he should have always known he was on the record, and got himself in trouble with Michael Malone and this fan base, saying that he wasn't obsessed with going back-to-back. It was about creating a sustained winner, and trying to maybe model the Spurs, who never went back-to-back, but were still a dynasty. And so to circle back and sit down with that same guy, it was interesting to me.
Well, what it does is it shows you that Calvin Booth knew that he was on the record and that he was just trying to put out that fire. But we all knew that he wasn't obsessed with going back-to-back because of his actions and who he wanted playing and these young guys he wanted playing, when you knew that Michael Malone wanted his vets and he loved his vets in crunch time situations and in the playoffs. And it's just one of those things, as a fan, you're looking at it like, dude, all we care about is the Nuggets winning. All we care about is another championship. And damn, we can't even get our general manager to think the same way as us as just the now. And so you had all that commotion going on.
Well, Booth actually has a bit of a defense for that. And as we go through this here, because there's a lot here, I want to handle this fairly. I don't want it to be hey, we're going to put Calvin Booth up on the cross and crucify him, because he did some good stuff here. He did some stuff that the Nuggets are still feeling the ripple effect of, proper evaluations and picks and all that stuff. So this was Calvin Booth talking about his experience with the Nuggets in a nutshell.
You can get in the weeds and talk about different scenarios with the Nuggets, but I think it boils down to this. The Nuggets experience to me is this, right? Well, I really think about it. I think I saw Michael Porter Jr. talking about this the other day. It's the gift and the curse of Jokic, right? And I embrace that, but when Jokic is in your universe, everybody takes everything else for granted, right? Oh, yeah, it's just because role player, but six man, they had all that stuff covered, right? So, but it's part of the course, I think.
Okay, so that's one of about 8 cuts we're going to play here this afternoon. And yesterday I went back and listened to this whole podcast and pulled what I thought, because really, what I naturally want to do is pull every freaking answer through the entire, because it went for an hour and 15 minutes, and we could just do it for 4 hours, but we're not going to do that. So I tried to pluck what was the most interesting to me.
So this one right here.
Yeah, because,
what's your take on it?
So when he says, hey, when you have a player like Jokic, it's framed as, well, they have the greatest player in the world, and the other stuff doesn't matter. He says, I think it's the exact opposite. When you have that player, everything else becomes more important. Your coach becomes more important. The team president becomes more important. Your sixth man becomes more important to support this guy. In some ways, I think you have to have both, right? Like he referenced the Bulls. You have Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
But you also have Phil Jackson. You also have Scotty. You also have Rodman. You also had, game-winning shots from John Paxton. You also had, Horace Grant. You also,
everybody had a role.
Yes. But why I think at the nucleus of why Calvin Booth would frame it like that is because he had nothing to do with Jokic. And you did make the moves that were the cherries on top to that sixth man, which would
Christian
be
Brown,
Christian Brown.
KCP.
Yes. And so the foundation of the house was built. It was all framed up, and you put the roof on.
Mm-hmm.
And in the way that he went about framing the championship structure, when you say, I think it's the opposite, that Jokic is the most important thing, and I think it's the opposite, I think that it's a roundabout way of giving yourself credit for the moves that you did.
I mean, but it's a lot of pressure. And you said it best. It's like, hey, at the time, Jokic didn't have an all-star next to him. So if you're someone like Calvin Booth, you're like, damn, I have to try to figure out how I can do this and how I can help this man out so that we can get the best out of him. Because if we don't end up getting to a championship, this is a failure. And we failed not just Jokic, but we failed the Denver Nuggets and the fan base.
Right.
So I could see where it's like, man, I have to find pieces around him to succeed. And he did his job.
He did
in that part because the foundation, like you said, was already built.
Yeah. All right, here's a little bit more from Calvin Booth on the NBA head coach and general manager dynamic.
In my situation, thinking about this, I've had some time to think about it. There's such a weird paradox with NBA coaches, right? They're in the midst of the lion den. They're dealing with players. They're some of the most formidable size-wise and ego-wise in the world. And they're managing them, they're coaching them, those guys buy in. And then I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where this happens. They have to, quote-unquote, report to like a general manager and maybe doesn't have the gravitas they do. I just think it's a human nature thing. I just think it's really hard. So you put that into our scenario and all the stuff that was floating out there. You take a coach that's tenured as long as Michael Malone, that's accomplished what he's done, that's won a championship. And I never even tried to position myself like he was reporting to me, but like I think that's where the perceived friction comes from, right? I don't even think it's I don't think it's that personal. When I look back on it, I don't think it's that personal. I think that could happen with a lot of coaches in the same situation. And honestly, I think you could put 100 GMs in my position. I don't know what 3 or 4 of them do as good as I did and handle the situation as well as I did. Right? So that's the way I look at it.
Okay.
He made it look easy.
Man, so, okay. And that's a separate quote from the one that was going viral that I made it look easy. And again, I can appreciate what he's trying to say of like, hey, this dynamic, like this coach, he's the forward-facing guy. He's the guy that's on TNT and ESPN and interviewed before and after the game, and he's managing all these personalities. And then he has to, quote-unquote, come report to me as a general manager. And, okay, I can understand you pointing out this really rare, workplace dynamic that is specific and unique to the NBA. But you hear at the end, well, before I get to his arrogant comment at the end, when he talks about the perceived rift between him alone, that was a big part of his theme sitting down with Kevin O'Connor. And I'll basically summarize it like this because he mentioned it 4 to 5 different times, and you'll hear it even furthermore as we get through this. This actually wasn't that big of a deal. This wasn't that unusual, and it got blown out of proportion. And I have to say I don't believe that.
Oh, I'm with you on it because it's like there's a reason why both of you guys get fired because you're not on the same page. But then at times it's like it seemed like they had a good relationship all the way up until last year. So something went down where they didn't see eye to eye, and it was like the final straw. It was the last thing. And maybe it was Michael Malone saying, hey, look, we're not on the same page. I'm in the fire with these guys. I don't feel like you have my back. They don't feel like you have their back. And now we have an issue. And now there's some separation there, Z. But they had to have had a good relationship at the beginning of all
They did. You do not, and he mentioned this, and I don't know if it's in one of the cuts we'll play, but he's like, you don't win a championship without being aligned.
Yes.
And there became a certain point, and it's not like this all happens in one day, right? It's like there's a fracture, and then the fracture turns into a break.
So what is it, the belief?
No, I believe the initial fracture, and I'm speculating because I'll never know, and I don't know these guys' hearts and mind. But when you win a championship and the head coach is at the parade screaming, dynasty, 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 and then within a month, Calvin Booth sits down and does an interview that he doesn't think is on the record, and he says we're not obsessed with going back-to-back. Like, we're going to actually develop young guys, and you're Michael Malone. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, what in the world are you talking about?
If I had a hypothesis, which is an educated guess, a guess yet and still, but it's based on something, I think that was the initial fracture. We'll never know for sure. Maybe Malone will sit down and do one of these years from now, but that's where I think it started. But you hear him at the end saying, hey, if you gave 100 GMs my situation, who does as good as I did? 3, 4? He might even be telling the truth. Like, truly. Like, and I would throw a challenge flag at it, but it's one thing for that to be potentially true, and it's another thing for you to come out and say it about yourself.
But why say that, though? Like, my whole thing is, like, you say that, but then again, 100 GMs, if they had Jokic, they would feel like they can do it.
And Jamal. And Aaron Gordon.
Exactly.
And Michael Porter Jr.
So why do you say that? It's because, is there something that went on that you feel like a lot of general managers would not even been able to get past?
Well,
communicate? Are you taking and I don't want to put it out there, are you taking a shot at the coach saying there's a lot of people that may not have been able to handle Michael Malone and that dynamic?
Maybe that's some of it. But also, he, and again, I don't know what's in his mind's eye, but also he made a trade for KCP.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He sent Will Barton out the door. You know who had the most tender spot in his heart for Will Barton? Was Tim Connolly. So it could be one of these things of like, I made a move that my boss wouldn't have made, and it resulted in a championship. So maybe he's thinking like that as well. Yeah. Here's a little bit more from Calvin Booth talking about Kroenke Sports Entertainment not valuing executives.
Ego stuff get involved. So that's the second paradox. I think the third thing is, when you talk about my overall situation while I'm here without a job, I think you have to talk about like different ownership groups and how they operate and the choice they decide to make. In the ownership group there with Josh and Stan, they've been on record by saying, I think this is one of the most underrated aspects of my scenario. One of the reasons why I might not be employed right now, above and beyond this whole, lack of alignment or whatever you want to call it. But whether it's Mark Workentine or Tim or Masai, there's always going to come to a point where they don't value executives like that. They don't think they should make too much. And so they just make an option to go in another direction, right? And they got 2 other young, good guys, and Ben and John, they have bright upside, but I think that would have had to be part of the equation in my scenario.
Okay, in this situation, I am not going to give too much pushback because historically this has been just a fact, and it's not even a secret. If it was, it's an open secret. It's just a known thing in NBA parlance that the Kroenkes are not going to overpay for an executive. And when you have the track record that they do, it's like one of these things where now they do have a bit of a track record for being cheap, and I could give you 8 examples about that. But they're drawing from some substance of like, we moved on from Masai, we had success. We moved on from Tim, we had success. We'll move on from you and we'll have success. Now, that being said, you put them in a position by going to war with your coach that could come into play. That was not like, I don't think that would have been as relevant. I think Calvin Booth would still be the general manager had the war not happened with Michael Malone. I don't think they move on from Calvin Booth because they don't value executives.
Well, they didn't, and maybe I'm wrong, but didn't they offer Calvin Booth
They did.
a contract?
Good memory. They offered him an extension that he thought was an extreme lowball. Mm-hmm. He didn't sign it. And then when this started to pick up more momentum, the Nuggets pulled the offer. So, 2 things can be true at the same time. Has Kroenke historically not valued executives? Yes. Is that the central reason that you got moved on from? No. That could have been the tiebreaker of like, you want to know what? We actually don't need to do this with you. We have guys waiting in the wings that are ready to do your job. But because you forced our hand, because you're going to war with the head coach, now it makes our decision actually easy.
So you think the war with the head coach was the final straw?
Definitely.
Because I'm with you on it. But I think for them it was like, if you're Kroenke and we're giving you another opportunity and we're going to put a contract in front of you, you decide that it's a low ball. You're telling us that it's a low ball. Now maybe they feel disrespected, and then now they're finding a way where it's like, hey, look, we were going to give you this contract, but now that you're going to battle and going to war with the coach, you're not coming back and he's not coming back, which is crazy. And so now it seems like Booth is feeling like the victim here, saying
Definitely.
no matter what,
Definitely.
it wasn't going to go my way because they weren't going to pay me for what everything that I just did for this organization.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was like, dude, I did so much for you guys that you
Exactly.
did give me the contract extension. And so it's pretty layered. I want to keep moving here because there's a handful of things I still want to get to. This was the quote that went viral. Calvin Booth, sort of almost piggybacking on how he ended his previous response with this.
I think I just made it look too easy.
What do you mean by that? A little too easy.
All right, so you're a podcaster, journalist, anybody that has that's really good at something. When they make it look easy, that was really, really hard to get to. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, it's a lifetime's worth of playing basketball, being coaching basketball, having conversations, scouting, doing whatever. For me to make it like, go in there right away, assemble a championship team, win a championship, and that's the part that, like, I'll separate that for a second. I'll finish with the last and final thing. I think when you take the Joker thing, the head coach paradox, the ownership and their precedents, and hey, look, they have a formula that works. Championships in hockey, basketball, football. Arsenal will probably get one soon. So, I mean, and it's their prerogative to operate that way. And I think it's the right call. I'll probably disagree with their take upon executives, especially in this world, but like, who am I? They've been so successful, right? Like, so maybe it's the right way to operate. But I'll say that you encompass all that in some media manipulation. And then all of a sudden, like, somehow, some way, I'm not running an NBA team right now.
Okay, there's a lot there, and I know we talked about this yesterday. But I walked away from this conversation that was over an hour long. You can be really, really smart, and I do believe Calvin Booth is a really smart guy and has an eye for talent.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you bat 1,000. No one does. But you can be really smart and have a incredible lack of awareness. And I walked away from this thing saying, man, Calvin Booth, he has really, really, really poor human awareness.
But why do you say that? Like, what about that is telling you, like, the lack of awareness? Just because the way he said it, like, so bluntly, like, pretty much like, I'm the man is so easy?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. Like, you have to know how you sound when you're saying this. But also when you say, I assembled a championship team, if someone came from out of space and an alien came down and you played him that quote, you would think that he drafted 4 of the 5 starters for a championship team. 4 of the 5 starters were already in place. So, yes, you deserve credit for adding KCP and moving on from Will Barton and drafting Christian Brown. Like, those are bringing in Bruce Brown. Like, those 3 moves are really important moves. But they're peanuts to an elephant when you're looking at Nikola Jokic being drafted, Jamal Murray as a secondary scorer, Aaron Gordon being the importance that he was to that championship. It was unrivaled. We fast forward to right now, you're not winning without Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
That's true.
We're talking about right now.
Now it was true then. He just represents something like you had already traded for him, and by the way, it was a pivot after Jeremy Grant spurned you in a way you didn't see coming. That was the backup. It was genius. It was basketball executive genius. And when you say I assembled a team and I made it look so easy, it misrepresents what you actually did, which was great. But when you take it this far, you misrepresent your role in it and you sound arrogant.
I agree with you on it. I wouldn't sound like this if I was Calvin Booth. But also, I think what he's trying to do is advocate for himself again.
Sure.
He's trying to lay out his thought process through his eyes of what it looked like, so that maybe somebody out there is looking for another general manager saying, okay, like, yeah, like how he's making it sound, we should give him another shot because he's playing the victim card. And now it's like, all right, so there's more understanding because he's not trying to tell Jokic's story. He's not trying to tell Michael Malone's story. He's trying to save his butt and tell his side of the story and what he did to get this team over the top.
Yes.
So I can't fault the man for that.
Well, hold on. Okay, if that's what you're trying to do,
yeah.
Just imagine you're a general manager right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a GM. You haven't reached out to Calvin Booth yet. Would this next response prompt you to bang down his door?
Maybe somebody's eyeing me. I don't know about out there, but like I'm just saying, I don't. My door wasn't knocking down when people were waiting to hire me. And I feel like again that's where this whole thing got blown out of proportion. If you just look like tangibly what I did, what my win percentage was, what I drafted, working with a coach like Coach Malone as a first-time GM, like I just don't know how my door isn't.
I just don't know how my door isn't being knocked down.
But can you see where he's coming from, though?
Again, yes, he did good stuff, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to advocate for himself, tell his story.
Nobody else will tell his story for him but him.
So, no doubt, but you're misrepresenting your story. They know, these executives know your story.
Oh, they talk.
Yes.
They talk.
They know Tim Connolly's role in all this. And so if you're an executive, if you're a team president that could be looking for a potential GM, and you haven't been knocking down his door, and you hear a guy who doesn't have his door being knocked down being like, I don't know how it hasn't. It's just like, I don't know, like, because you're matching up your tone and your awareness or lack thereof with the story that you went to war with your head coach.
But he's also
he sounds like a guy who would.
But also in that he's trying to say, and you've said it multiple times, he's saying it multiple times, people are blowing this out of proportion. This is not the full story, and we'll never know the full story. Michael Malone has his story.
Sure.
Kevin Booth is going to have his story. The players are going to have their stories. But what he's trying to say there, it's like, yo, everybody took this and ran with it, and they don't truly know what happened between me and Coach Malone, and they're blowing it so out of proportion that it's bleeding out of there, and nobody will give me that opportunity because of what they're hearing, instead of just like coming to him and having that conversation. It's just like they don't truly know what happened between me and Coach Malone, and they're blowing it so out of proportion that it's bleeding out of there, and nobody will give me that opportunity because of what they're hearing, instead of just like coming to him and having that conversation. It's just like to me, it's like what a player would do. Like, you feel misunderstood, and now this is your chance, your voice. Like, obviously he got on this podcast and went on this podcast so that his voice could be heard, that like, look,
totally,
I'm the victim, and I know it's not all right. I'm the victim. This was blown out of proportion. I'm misunderstood. I should have another opportunity at some point, like Coach Malone will, to be a coach again, to be a general manager for another team because of what I have done to help this team get over the top, over the hump, he should have said. Like, right, like I didn't build this from the ground up. The foundation was there, but I added those pieces that got us over the top, and that matters too.
All right. There's one more I want to get to, and I found it fascinating because he got into the specifics of the dynamic with Michael Malone and what fully went wrong. And we'll play that for you coming up next.
Do the Broncos need a major reset at tight end this offseason?
Give me a break on this tight end room. Seriously, get this tight end room fixed. It's time to upgrade it. We put it on the back burner long enough. Eventually, you got to upgrade this thing, and this is the offseason to do it.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire it back, then do what I did and go see Dr. Tanya Pauls at Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can personally attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Pauls, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. naturally. Advanced Hair even guarantees it to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation today. Call 720-459-HAIR and you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's 720-459-HAIR. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver, and they've changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. Become inspired with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Everything is getting more expensive. Gas, groceries, and especially rent, which can go up every single year. But as a homeowner, you have a secret weapon. While the world gets pricier, a fixed-rate mortgage stays exactly the same. That stability isn't just peace of mind, it's your family's financial foundation. American Financing understands home ownership creates wealth. Every monthly payment builds equity and stacks your net worth on autopilot. It's how the middle class actually wins the long game. Your home is a flexible asset. You can live in it, rent it out for passive income, or pass it down to your children. Renting gives you none of that. American Financing salary-based mortgage consultants can help you get pre-qualified with no upfront fees. Call American Financing today and get a pre-qualification letter in 24 hours or less. Call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at americanfinancing.net. Secure your rate, build your wealth, and get the cash you need. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Hi, Dan Cicchini with Dunright. Great pricing options and bank financing? You bet. Kitchens, baths, counters and floors, finished basements, windows and doors. Done right since 1985. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Dunright. Visit drhi.com. Thanks.
I am down 60 pounds because of SodaWeightLoss.com. The weight came off a few years ago, and it came off naturally. And I got to tell you, having my own nutritionist, someone who was always available via text, made all the difference. It's real support from a real person. That's what keeps you consistent with SodaWeightLoss.com. Soda is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and results. Clients look and feel 10 years younger, just like I do. I move easier, I sleep better. I got my confidence back, baby, and all thanks to SodaWeightLoss.com. And here's the best part. Join now and your partner joins for free. You start together, you support each other, and you both get younger, feeling healthier versions of yourselves. Call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. That's 1-866-800-SODA. Join Soda for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, it's got to be state-of-the-art.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting. You excited when you get those freezer-burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
Hey, what's up? It's Zach here. And if you're looking for your new go-to spot in Centennial, the Basketball Social House is it. Award-winning food and drinks, an incredible weekend brunch, and a brand new sports bar entertainment space where you can catch every Colorado game. Even if you're not playing, it's a great hang. But if you are, their private basketball suites are unreal. Full court, lounge, music, TVs, the whole setup. And because you're hearing this from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental. Just use code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, you're going to love this place.
Want to partake in our contest? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive.
The end of last year. And what happened at the end of last year, make no mistake, it had no precedent. In NBA history, we've never seen a coach and GM get fired on the same day with 3 games left in the season.
Crazy.
A championship coach who is the all-time wins leader of the organization. This wasn't moving on from Nathaniel Hackett with 2 games left. This was an entirely different beast. The best coach in franchise history before the playoffs started. I mean, even as I say that now.
No, for sure. When you're talking about, I'm like, damn, why would we do that? Why would we get rid of that coach? There's a lot going on.
No doubt. And it was as dramatic as anything that you could see, given those roles. Blowing up your front office and your coach. I mean, it's nuts.
Before the playoffs even start?
Crazy. just crazy. Michael Malone, God, I am like praying to the basketball gods that at one point Michael Malone goes on the record and tells his side of the story.
Do you think he will?
No.
Why is that?
Because I think he's got a brighter future in front of him coaching than Calvin Booth has in front of him being a general manager. And I think that the number one objective for him joining Kevin O'Connor was to tell his story, to minimize the damage. Like when you hear that a general manager has been fired for going to war with his head coach, like why would you invite that into your organization?
Yeah.
But if that GM was like, this is blown out of proportion, he must have had 8 to 9 references of this was not that big of a deal. It got blown out of proportion. He was like, at one point, he's like, where's the smoking gun? He's like, did he and I get into a physical altercation in front of people? And I'm like, well, if that's the definition of a healthy relationship, that you guys didn't fight in public, like that's a pretty low bar. That's a pretty low bar right there. And so I think that he is trying to diffuse I don't know what it would be called when you would like clean up a toxic spill, but that's what he's trying to do with this.
And he's not trying to like throw, it doesn't seem like it, throw Michael Malone under the bus.
The opposite.
He's trying to like, hey, look, it wasn't as big of a deal as people have it out there as. Michael Malone, great coach, and what I did helped us win a championship. I hope at some point Michael Malone comes out once he's done coaching. I think that's something that would happen. Once he's done coaching, they're going to ask him, you're the head coach of a team that has never won a championship, and you brought that to Denver. What in the world just happened? He's going to have to explain what happened.
Maybe years from now.
Years from now.
I'm not expecting it anytime soon. But years from now, maybe we'll get his side of the story if he chooses to go back to that place. I mean, we have to try to understand just how deep Michael Malone was cut with this whole situation. He was blindsided. We were blindsided. Calvin Booth said he was blindsided. I mean, Michael Malone, they won the championship. He's up there crying. And what's the first thing that he does? He goes and gets a Denver Nuggets Maxey the Miner tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
This was way more than a job for Michael Malone. This was his life, his lifestyle, how he viewed himself. You put something on your body like that, you see yourself as the coach of the Denver Nuggets. And it's just wild looking back at it. So Booth Booth, I have one more cut to play here, and then we'll move on. Booth describing his work dynamic with Michael Malone once he was named the general manager. And let me just say this because I have to actually correct the verbiage. Booth was the general manager. Tim Connolly was just the team president. So at a certain point in time, Connolly was the general manager, gets promoted to president of basketball operations. Calvin Booth gets promoted to GM. So, like, technically, and I'm using air quotes here in the studio, at the time that the Aaron Gordon trade is made, technically, Calvin Booth was the GM, but he wasn't the boss. And once Tim Connolly moved on, they never elevated Calvin Booth to team president and hired a new GM. They just kept him in that role, and there was no team president.
Yeah.
And what does Kroenke get to do in that? They get to save money. Because when Tim got bumped up to team president, he got a big raise. And then so did Calvin by getting the GM job. So really, it's not when Calvin got the GM job, in air quotes. It's when Tim Connolly moved on and you became the boss.
Yes.
If that all makes sense.
No, it does.
Here was a Booth describing those dynamics.
There's no way you're not winning when you're not aligned. But what is alignment like in the scenario that I talk about with that, when you think about that paradox, just that general paradox about how head coaches, they're the only people in the world that have that kind of authority that those kind of people listen to that have to like maybe report to some, quote unquote, report to somebody. And that wasn't Coach Malone's relationship. So when I get that title, it's not an option for me not to do my job, right? I'm going to do my job. So I think one of the only outcomes where everybody thinks we're aligned is me submit, lay down, not do the job, and that's not an option for me. So some version of this was when it happened. Could have been quieter, could have not thrown legs with the media, could have not been such a crawl in ownership's pants. Like maybe there's some different things that could happen in that regard.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's annoying. If you're owner of a team and you're hearing about a conflict between your head coach and your GM, however real or however blown out of proportion it is, like, that's not, they have 7 other sports teams to run, like, right?
I mean, the way I look at it, though, Calvin, is it's not often that a GM and a coach get fired on the same day. Like, was it really blown out of proportion when that just never happens?
I don't know. I have a hard time processing that question. I don't even really know what it means.
Do you see what I mean? Like if you're a general manager or if you're a team president and you're looking for a general manager, Calvin Booth does not come across in this 1 hour and 15-minute podcast as someone that you would be clamoring to work with. It doesn't mean that every button he pushed was the wrong one. That's not true. It's not. And the Nuggets are still reaping the benefits of some of his eye for talent in Christian Brown, Peyton Watson. He was the first to see Spencer Jones, who has started over 35 games for the Nuggets this year.
Mr. Jones.
Pickett. I mean, so
his eye for talent is there.
It's there, but it's I don't know, man.
The lack of communication.
That's
exactly what it seems like. It's like the lack of communication with your head coach. The lack of communication of like understanding where your head coach is coming from and respecting what he wants done as well, and understanding that there's certain things that you guys have to be able to come together and agree on. That's what it seems like didn't happen.
Totally. And he can say it's overblown till he's blue in the face. But I came in here last season after this happened and told you that I talked to someone inside the organization, no one in the PR office. I'm not talking like public relations. I'm talking someone inside the organization that got pulled in Calvin Booth's office and was asked the question, don't you think you're getting a little too close to the coach? That was what I shared last year.
Yes.
So he can do the revisionist history and repackage everything that happened. But it like how he remembers it or how he's telling it is not exactly how it went down. Doesn't mean it was all bad. It wasn't. They won a championship together. So
the ending was bad.
The ending was very bad. Very bad. And so we'll see if he ever gets an opportunity. I will tell you, after ingesting this and listening to a lot of it for a second time, he was trying to help himself, and I don't think he helped himself at all. I think he was trying to help himself and frame things the way that he wanted to frame.
Yep,
and
advocated for himself.
Yep, and I don't think he did himself any favors with this podcast. I really don't. And maybe I'll be wrong about that. It just takes one to hire him. But we'll see how that ages over the sands of time. All right, 2 things happened last night that hopefully are a sign of things to come for the Colorado Avalanche. We'll talk about those 2 things next.
The champ! Are you ready? Do you consider yourself a super fan? Well, now's your chance to prove it. It's Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan Super Fan Send-Off, presented by 303 Law 4040, sending you to Las Vegas for the biggest pro wrestling event in the world. A pair of 2-night event tickets, airfare, and hotel all included, plus a $500 Visa card. So get in the ring and enter now at DenverSports.com/superfan. That's DenverSports.com/superfan.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LAUGH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LAUGH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Tune in Tuesday afternoons for Injury Insights with Zach Bai and Dr. Joseph Ramos to hear the latest injury news on your local teams and around the world of sports. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
Hey guys, your boy Mark Schlereth here. Denver is Truck Month only at Bozarth Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet, where every new and pre-owned truck comes with a spray-in bed liner included. That's right, every new truck, every bed protected. Plus, take advantage of deeply incentivized programs on all the new and pre-owned trucks, including the new Silverado and Colorado, with offers designed for their customers to take advantage of. Work harder, play harder, drive smarter. Only at Bozarth Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet, your trusted partner in automotive.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach Bai and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, two things happened last night that hopefully are a sign of things to come for the Colorado Avalanche. Couple takeaways here. One, let's just start with the Avs won. Coming out of the Olympic break.
Great start.
It really was. In Utah, Utah has been a struggle. They were 2-1 against the Mammoth. Both of their wins came by 1 goal. The loss came by 1 goal in overtime. And it was the second period was pretty entertaining. Not so much beyond that. Looked like in the first period, just trying to find their legs a little bit.
Find their footing a little bit. Second period, it was glorious.
Really
That's when it opened up. And in the third period, I felt like everybody fell asleep.
Yeah, it was a slog to finish that third period. All 6 of those goals in the 4-2 win came in that second stanza. The two things that I think, and then we can kind of get into more detail, but the two things that I think happened last night that are hopefully a sign of things to come for the Avalanche. One, I had questions of how would the guys who participated in the Olympics and gave it everything they had in most of the cases, or not most of the cases, half the cases, I guess, that went all the way through the goal round. What did these guys have coming out of the break? And we got our answer. Netchis scores. Kale assisted on that goal. Landeskog facilitating the goal for Olofsson.
Yep. Brock.
And yes, we did have American hero Nelson also scored. You like that one?
Yeah. Nelson. Brock.
Oh my God.
Point streak still continues.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I forgot about that. So that's 13 straight games then, right?
Yeah. And how many points is it? Is it
I forget how many points it was, but it's definitely 13 straight road games. It was the second longest streak in the league. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's first now after last night. But it was just good to see the guys who I had the questions about perform really well.
No, and that's what you're looking for. It's like, okay, what are you going to get out of the guys that you need the most, the stars? And they shined. But also what I took from that game was, okay, Parker Kelly splitting 2 defenders. First goal of the game.
That was nuts,
insane.
Phil.
It was. It was like this was a perfect time to do it where it's like Parker Kelly telling his guys, hey, I got this. Like, I'm ready to play. I mean, I've been sitting here watching you guys in the Olympics go at it, and it's been cute. But now it's my time, my turn, and that's a depth player. All right, Victor Olofsson is another one. Scores a goal. Like, you want to see that from the depth, and we've talked about it, how deep these lines can be, and it was on display when it mattered the most. And it's the first game coming out of the break, and everybody's excited to be back. So, like, that was my biggest takeaway is, like, the depth is doing their part, and hopefully they can do it again tonight.
Yeah, no McKinnon. No problem.
Honestly, I don't know if we talked about it yesterday, but we kind of assumed that if somebody was going to miss, it was going to be Nathan McKinnon.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because he's kind of been, banged up a little bit or something went on during the Olympics.
Yeah, he was not participating in those morning skates, which to miss those in the Olympics is a little bit different than missing them in like the regular season for the Avs. So, yeah, I think we talked about that off the air, but we're going to see him tonight. Knock on wood. Has that been officially announced that McKinnon's going to play tonight? It has. Okay, that's right. Bednar did say that last night. So I look forward to it, man. I look forward to it. And then the other thing, in addition to the Olympic guys playing all well in the first game back, is the fact that they did score on the power play. And we had that question like, man, it was blistering in Italy. McKinnon had multiple power play goals. Netjes had multiple power play goals. Gabe, Kale, they all scored a man up. And it's like, can this translate? Because you don't just have the worst power play in the league. Your power play is historically bad by net power play ranking, which takes into account shorthanded goals, of which there have been 9 this year, which is unthinkable. So they're historically bad. How would it look in the first game back and they cashed 1 out of 3? And if you cashed 1 out of 3 every time, you'd be leading the league. So you take it.
Now, with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see what the power play looks like. I can't believe I'm saying this. With Nathan McKinnon a part of it.
I know.
Right? Like you think, oh, you're adding Nathan McKinnon to it? Oh, this is going to be powerful. We were able to get 1 power play goal. No, now we're getting 2. But that hasn't been the case. And a lot of it, my guessing, has to do with Netjes and Nathan McKinnon himself being on the same power play line and just not meshing well together. And all of a sudden, Nate Dogg takes the day off, or Betsy tells him he's taking the day off. Marty Netjes goes ahead and puts the goal in the back of the net, or the puck in the back of the net. I mean, do you do that again? Do you go out with the same power play unit with Netjes being on the top?
It's a great question. Bednar insinuated that that's Nate McKinnon's spot.
I know, it's his home. That's his.
But at the same time, your power play is historically bad. You should be open to trying anything. And the crux of it is that they both would want to play on that left side, and they can't both play there. So you got to pick one. And in the first game out of the break, you've been struggling super, like, again, historically bad. And then you get results right out of the gate with Netjes. I don't know. Just because you make the decision for tonight doesn't mean that that's the decision for the next game or a week from now or a month from now.
You have to tell Nathan McKinnon that.
Yeah.
See, that's the issue right there with these players in general. You know how we can get. We can get very sensitive, especially when you feel like that's your spot and somebody's telling you you're going to be demoted because that's what it looks like. Hey, you're going to be on the second power play unit. What is Nathan McKinnon being on the second power play unit? What does that do for him? In his head.
Right.
But maybe also in his head, it's like, you know what? I understand I may have to sacrifice a little bit. I know I'm the captain or one of the biggest leaders on this team. He's not the captain, but biggest leader on this team.
Yeah.
Like, try it out. If it doesn't work, you can always go to the number 1 power play unit.
All right, we'll see how they play it tonight. This was Bednar after the game.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I think guys played hard. They were committed to the way we want to play. There was some sloppy plays on both sides of it, I think, that led to some real good scoring chances for and against. But overall, committed to our checking game, had some good shifts offensively, scored on the power play. I know you guys like that.
And how about Bednar? Like, hold on a second. I got to throw a challenge flag at this. Like, we scored on the power play. I know you guys like that. Hold on a second, dude. Don't for a second make this about the media.
Oh, all the coaches are.
Right? Don't for a second make this about the media. Like, I know you guys like that. No, Kirk Cousins. You like that.
You like that.
You like that. This is your power play. It's the worst in the league. Hey, I know you guys.
Why you lost last year, coach?
Right. Like, I know you guys like that. Like, sarcastically. No, you like that. Goodness gracious.
I do like it.
Of course. Yes.
We all do.
God almighty. Some of these coaches, some of these times. Yeah. Like,
what's that, Kirk Cousins? You like that?
Yes.
You like that?
He was on the set of CBS for the divisional round. And everyone was saying, you like that. It was pretty funny. All right. What kind of leash will Sean Payton have with Davis Webb as the play caller? And another follow-up question to what this actually looks like on game days. That's next.
by trading away Sam Girard. Are the Avalanche preparing to make another big move at the deadline?
Look, we got to figure out what he's going to do on the ice, but I think this is a smart move. You're getting out of a contract. You're getting out of a player that's a little bit of a liability when the postseason comes because of that size on the back end. You're getting a little bigger, and you're getting freed up money at the end of the season. I think this is a really good first move from Chris.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text ROAD to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text ROAD to 323232 right now. Text ROAD to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's ROAD to 323232. Text ROAD to 323232 now.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Winter isn't over just yet. In Colorado, your furnace has one job: to keep you warm. If it's been a while since your last tune-up, you're rolling the dice. Stoke here. ROX Rocks Heating and Air is local and honest. Get your furnace tuned up before the cold settles back in for only $39. Call ROX Rocks Heating and Air today or schedule online. Keep your home warm, keep your family safe, but only with ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Do you want the lowest rate for life? Get our 4.75 5-year fixed. APR is 5.89.
Did you say 4.75% fixed for 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I want that, but what if rates fall?
Our lowest rate for life program takes over. If rates fall even as little as 0.5%, we can redo your loan with no lender fees and no appraisal fee and no limits to the number of times used. Only at U.S. Mortgages. Call 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. See website for complete details. License number 392-126.
Hey, it's Phillip Lindsay here. During my football career, I've seen every kind of medical tech there is. I finally stopped ignoring my joint pain, and I want to tell you guys about RegenRx. They have a blueprint to recovery that is next level. From stem cells to shockwave therapy, it's non-surgical, and there's no downtime. Don't just settle for average results with outdated equipment. Go to a clinic that's leading the way. RegenRx offers free consultations, so you need to give them a call today at 303-630-9770 today or visit regenrx.co and let them know that Phillip Lindsay sent you. Take back control of your life.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver.
Play caller kind of like started to inch our way towards that conversation yesterday. Like, let's
pump the brakes a little bit. Put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in it. And I do have another follow-up question to what this actually looks like on game days. First, give me 10 seconds. Calling all wrestling fans. We have your chance to go to Las Vegas for the biggest pro wrestling event in the world. It's the Superfan Send-Off presented by 303 Law 4040. You get a pair of 2 nights tickets to the event, round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver to Vegas, 2 nights hotel stay, and a $500 Visa gift card. For more information and to enter, head to DenverSports.com/superfan. Follow-up question. And I don't know if we know this right now. I don't think we do. Do you think Davis Webb will be down on the field or up in the box?
See, that's a great question. And I went back and forth on this because I don't know what Davis Webb is going to do. But I assume because of what he has been doing this whole time, what he did for the preseason game, he was not in the box. He was on the field, on the sideline, up close and personal, able to talk to whoever he needs to talk to be able to talk to Bo Nix, which is so important to do. And I think that if you go into the box, if you're Davis Webb, you give Sean a little bit more power because now you're going off of like the headphones. All Sean has to do is click that mute button on the headphone and say, hey, look, it's my time. It's my time. You don't get to talk anymore. So I believe that Davis Webb, since he's been on the sideline anyway, I think he's going to start on the sideline and maybe he works his way up to the booth. I've been around different offensive coordinators, some that like the booth and some that like the sideline. Just all depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to see the whole entire field and what's going on? Or do you want to be up close and personal and be able to talk to all of us and interact and say what's going on with us that way? I believe that he's young. He wants to be around Bo Nix. He'll be on that football field on the sideline.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll see.
I'm not giving Sean that power. He's going to turn my mic off. I'm good.
That's a good question, though, the next time we hear from Sean Payton and if he has a preference. Because this is a first of. So it's like, what would Sean's preference be? Does he want direct communication to Davis? If he wants to like assault him, should he be right down there? Because
snatch his playbook, right? Play, calling she like, give me it.
This is going to get so interesting on some of these game days. In terms of Davis Webb's leash,
what leash, man? The man cut that leash a long time ago.
You know, this has been a slow starting offense for the Denver Broncos under Sean Payton for 2 straight years. If it's the same slow starting offense, like it looks the exact same as it has for 2 straight years, things could get tricky. And I don't know. The patience is going to have to be practiced here from Sean Payton because there's going to be just natural growing pains.
Oh, yeah. You know, if it is a situation where Davis Webb starts off slow, I don't believe Sean Payton's just going to take the play calling duty and say it's mine. Now, there may be a couple changes that they do behind closed doors where it's like, hey, I'm not going to say this to the public, but this is what I'm going to do until you kind of get back on your feet or you feel more confident, more comfortable. But I think Sean knows that there's going to be some growing pains. Sean knows that there's going to be some great moments, but also he has to let Davis Webb develop, and Davis Webb is going to continue, my guessing is, reminding him, Coach, I'm the OC. Give me the opportunity to show you. It's going to take more. It's going to take more than just 2 or 3 games. But he needs to show something fast. I will say that, Z. He needs to show some type of like creative play, some type of explosive play that's like, okay, that's Davis Webb, and he just stamped and left his mark right there. That's what we're going to see throughout this year. So it needs to happen fast, and I believe it will because he knows that Sean has a leash on him. Whether he is willing to talk about it or not, he knows how Sean Payton runs, how Sean Payton is, and that he needs to show Sean that what he did by giving him the play calling duties was the right move.
And then actually, like, it's I'm not going to say it's easy, but I think it's easier to talk about this in February. But in September, in front of 70,000 people, when you're the head coach and you're wearing wins and losses, it could be easier in theory than it is in practice. But I wanted to mention this too, though, Phil, is that yesterday we were talking about like doing things for the first time, and how no matter what it is, if you're behind the glass and work the board like Dante does, which, by the way, I don't think you're supposed to be eating back there. Or you're doing this job for the first time, like we talked about for you yesterday. But also, there exists a scenario where Davis Webb just kills it right away. And when you deal with really, really talented people, like who are doing something, maybe they're familiar with it big picture, but they're actually doing it in practice for the first time.
Yeah.
There is a lot of times where, so we'll put the shoe on the other foot. We were talking about you yesterday as a sports talk show host.
Yeah.
The first year, like just learning and the bumps and bruises and being a little rocky road. But what about you, the football player? You walked in the NFL with no experience. None. You didn't know if you were going to make the team. And you're a 1,000-yard guy right out of the gate. I think of Jim Brown. Rookie year is 1957. Comes in the league. He's the MVP of the league. I think of Jimi Hendrix. 1967, his first album, Are You Experienced? He never had an album before. And on that album, it's Foxy Lady, Purple Haze, Hey Joe, The Wind Cries Mary, Are You Experienced? It's one of the most successful albums of all time. He had never done it. It wasn't like, hey, I needed 6 albums to work up to this point. Biggie, Ready to Die, 1994, with Juicy and Big Papa. Biggie, Give Me One More Chance. That was his first album, right out of the gate. There was a director, Sam Mendes, never directed a film before, 1999. He directs a film, it's called American Beauty. It won Best Picture, and he won Best Director in his first crack at it. There's an actress, Julian Andrews, made her film debut in 1964, had never worked on a movie set before. And she wins Best Actress. You know what her character was? Mary Poppins.
I remember that.
Like, that was her first movie.
Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down.
Jennifer Hudson, you've heard that name.
Oh, yeah.
Right? She didn't win American Idol. She didn't finish runner-up. She wasn't in the top 5. She finished 7th. She takes a couple acting classes and gets involved with a film called Dreamgirls and wins Best Supporting Actress in 2006. You can look at George Seifert, the head coach, promoted to head coach for the San Francisco 49ers, had never been a coach before. Wins the Super Bowl in his first season against the Broncos, I believe it was. Red Miller, former coach of the Denver Broncos here. I didn't quite realize until recently that was his first season in 1977. He took the Denver Broncos to the Super Bowl. So you can look at sports with players or musicians or actors or coaches. There are plenty of examples of someone who had never done the job before and is tasked to do it, and they crush it. And hopefully that's the case with Davis Webb.
And you know what? Davis Webb is set up for success, too, because of the foundation. The foundation is already built. You have the offensive line. The defense is stacked. Your head coach believes in you. Your quarterback, who's a franchise quarterback here, is in play. You're going to add a couple more weapons. All you have to do is go out there and instruct these guys in what you want done, letting them know and showing them, hey, these plays will help us out. Everything else is there for you. But you have to put your mind to work, come up with these creative plays, and just let it rip.
All right. Good conversation. If you want to react to it on the RamosLaw.com text line, you can, 303-713-1043. How did the Nuggets bounce back after their worst loss of the year and turn in one of the best wins of the year? That's next.
Should upgrading the running back room be the top priority for Sean Payton this offseason?
This is not some Christian McCaffrey deal, but it's also not some bargain shopping. It's somewhere in between. You need to address this with a heavy hand. Breece Hall represents that. He's number 1 on my free agent big board.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Hey, it's Zach By here. Protect your home with 5280 Exteriors and their James Hardy siding, Timber Tech decking, and Pella Impervia fiberglass windows. They also offer 60 months, no interest financing. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting. You excited when you get those freezer-burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
Brendan Stokely from my friends at Roller Auction, leader in Colorado auctions for over 40 years. They conduct over 150 auctions every year, selling tens of thousands of items at the price you set. Auctions are held regularly for Colorado government agencies, and they always have big-ticket items at great prices. That's why I love Roller Auction. And almost all bidding is conducted online in real time, and it's open to the public. Anyone can participate. Check back regularly. New auctions are added weekly. Be the first to know about new auctions available for bidding when you sign up for email notifications. Go to rollerauction.com/thefan.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. What a deal.
Your new morning groove. Iced coffee from McDonald's, any size for just $1 until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. National Western Complex. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. National Western Complex. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. National Western Complex. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. National Western Complex. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. National Western Complex. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandswimspasale.com.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, rolling along here on a Thursday. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. How did the Denver Nuggets bounce back after arguably the worst loss of the entire season and turn in one of the best wins of the year? I'd say top 3, top 4 win of the year last night on ESPN. Nuggets pulling away from the Boston Celtics after trailing after the first quarter, trailing at halftime, and going on to win by 19 points against a sizzling red-hot Celtics team that was 9-1 in their previous 10 games.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how, Z. Grit, determination, motivation. Our players make plays. Players win games. That's how they beat the Celtics last night.
Something like that.
Something like it.
Well, I'll tell you this. Clearly their approach was different. You could see in the first 3 to 5 possessions the contrast of the first 3 to 5 minutes against the Golden State Warriors when they got down 11-2 on national TV on Sunday afternoon. And I could just see, and you want to know the first person I noticed it with was Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson was in the right place at the right time, every single possession last night. And him just doing little stuff like diving to deflect a basketball.
It's more aggressive.
Knocking the ball off someone's leg to steal a possession. It was little stuff, but you could tell the approach was significantly different than Sunday.
And the confidence. If you remember, there was a play where I want to say Christian Brown gets the steal or deflects the ball, passes it to Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, instead of driving to the rim, he decides to pop and shot, right? Pop up at the 3, hits the 3.
Yep.
That's confidence right there. It's okay, that's your game. You're feeling yourself. That's exactly what we need down this stretch if we're going to win these games, because it can't just come from Jokic. It can't just come from Jamal Murray. It's going to have to come from everybody doing their part, starring in the role. All right, the bench, outscoring the Celtics bench. That has to happen. Everybody has to be on the same page, aligned the same way, and then you come out and you beat somebody like the Celtics.
Well, you mentioned the bench scoring. How about this? The Denver Nuggets bench. Man, how times have changed here over the years. The Denver Nuggets bench outscored the Boston bench 42-17. And you pound a team in the second half that had been red hot. You hold them to it was just 36 total points in the second half in a game where Jamal Murray plays less than 8 minutes and leaves the game and leaves the facility with an illness. All right, so let's keep our eye on that. But it was that third quarter. Denver down, I think, a point, I want to say, at halftime.
48-47.
Okay, there you go. Denver outscored Boston 30-19 in the third quarter. And it was really that back stretch of the third quarter, an 11-0 run that set up the fourth quarter. And then they started fast in the fourth quarter. And that was basically all she wrote there.
And Z, this is not a hot take. This is just truly how I feel. The Denver Nuggets played their best defense of the year as a unit. And it wasn't just one guy. It was everybody. It was Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench playing really good defense. It was Brucey B being physical, being aggressive, being that pestering fly that doesn't want to leave. Bruce Brown had a hell of a game.
He did it defensively.
Defensively,
yep.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for. We know that this is the number one ranked offense when it comes to the Denver Nuggets, but defense has been the thing that has been holding them back. And now all of a sudden you got everybody invested. You have everybody communicating. You have people truly giving effort on the defensive side of the court. Like, that's what I want to see. And it leads to you beating the Celtics, and not just beating them, but beating them pretty good.
Beating them real good. 103-84. Holding the Celtics to 84 points in 2026 is really, really impressive. And you could just see, man, that the longer that second half dragged out, like if there was a fifth quarter to that game last night and not 4, instead of winning by 19, the Nuggets would have won by 27. Like, that's how that was going to go. It was second night of a back-to-back and in altitude, and you could just tell that combined with Denver's level of aggressiveness and assertion, like, again, a regular season game in February, just playing as hard as you can is going to take you a really long way. And if you don't, well, then you can get beat by anyone, like we saw on Sunday afternoon against Golden State. So Denver gets their second win of the season against a team that's ranked above them in the standings. Both of those have came against the Boston Celtics. And it was one of these games where Jamal goes out and Jokic says, I got this. And it wasn't his most efficient night.
No.
But he still finishes with 30, 12, and 6. Took 28 shots, though. I think naturally Jokic does not want to take that many shots. The next most shots taken among starters was 11 from Cam Johnson. And Jokic took, like I said, 28.
But I think Jokic looked at it. I mean, if you're watching that game in the second quarter, it was stagnant a little bit when it came to the Nuggets scoring. And Jokic coming out of half said, hey, look, like, I know Jamal's not coming back. He's sick. He's dealing with something. I know that if we're going to get anything going, it's going to come from me, and then everybody else will start to trickle in. They'll start to get the confidence, and that's exactly what happened. You know, you have someone like Jokic that sets the tone, but not just by him scoring, his body demeanor this game, Z.
Totally.
It's more of like, hey, I'm going to take a more professional approach. I'm not going to sit here and whine and cry to the officials. I'm just going to play basketball, and I'm going to try to find a way because I'm very concerned, right? Jokic said that in the microphone that he's concerned about his team, and that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like Jokic that was locked in, focused. It was like, we must win this game at home. We must find a way to win, and it starts with me, and then everybody else is going to follow suit, and we're going to find a way to win, and that's exactly how it went down just because Jokic set that tone.
You love to see it. You can't lose in the clutch if you're winning by 19 points.
Easy, right?
And I almost did almost like morbidly. And I think this was said on the ESPN broadcast from Mark Johnson. Like, he's like, I almost hope this is a close game because I want to see how Denver responds in the clutch. And look, I'd much rather have a more like rocking chair finish where I'm not on the edge of my seat and I'm just sitting back enjoying it.
We've had a lot of those.
But let's, we're going to continue to evaluate. And tomorrow night they're in Oklahoma City. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't think we're going to see Jalen Williams, their second best player. So we'll preview more of that game tomorrow. But hey, how about your fellow CU Buffalo?
There we go.
KJ Simpson. Man, you know what I love seeing? I love seeing other, in this case, grown men, but it doesn't have to be grown men. I love seeing people teammates rally around their teammate when you know they're doing something that they might not be expected to do. And so when KJ Simpson, he just joined the team, right? He's been here for like 5 seconds.
He's a two-way player.
Yep. But you can just tell, man, he gets in there and he threw a dunk down and the crowd loving him up, knowing that he's a CU guy, knowing he's brand new, but watching his own brand new teammates respond to him, KJ Simpson. I just think it's cool, man. It humanizes. These guys are all millionaires and some of them 100 millionaires, but to see them like act like boys
and get excited for their new teammate, like that's what it's all about. And also, like you look at these players. And it's like KJ Simpson, you could tell he's babyface, right? He's still young. He looks like it.
He does.
And you look at someone like, I say Tim Hardaway Jr. because that's a grown man.
Definitely.
That's a man who's been around for a long time.
Definitely.
The body demeanor, like the way that they act is just different. It's just funny seeing it from like playing in the NFL and seeing how it was when you're young compared to somebody that's just been there forever in the way that they go about it. But to get happy for that guy and excited that he put that dunk down and had 2 points, like that's what it's about.
It was genuine.
Yes.
It was genuine happiness. I love that stuff. Okay, shifting gears, a future starting member of the Denver Broncos may be on the field as we speak. That's next.
After another underwhelming season from the tight end room, should the Broncos bring in another dynamic playmaker?
Cade Otton is a guy that I really like, that I really think can play, and that I think would be one of those guys that provides duality for you as an offense, something that you really haven't had. He's a threat in the passing game, but like I said, willing participant when it comes to blocking.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040 and Jacobs Law with another cool story to share. James called 303 Law 4040, and he's like a lot of our clients, not looking to get rich, but he just didn't want to get stuck with a bunch of medical bills. So we met with James like we do all of our 303 Law 4040 clients in person, and it's a good thing we did because we noticed James did not look so good. We sent him to the hospital to get checked out, and they did wind up admitting him. In the end, we got him feeling better and $125,000. He was over the moon. He came into the office to pick up his check and rang that victory bell. And the really cool part is James surprised us with a check of his own, a donation so we could keep the best free meal in Denver coming each and every first and third Thursday. If you've been injured, you may be like James, not looking to get rich, but not sure what to do. That's why we're here to help. Just give us a call at 303-LAW-4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303-LAW-4040.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair with the same simple one-day treatment I receive from Dr. Tanya Pauls of Advanced Hair. Your own natural hair begins regrowing the very next day, and your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. For your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts, call 720-459-HAIR, AdvancedHair.com.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replace stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another
similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text ROAD to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text ROAD to 323232 right now. Text ROAD to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's ROAD to 323232. Text ROAD to 323232 now.
Hey guys, your boy Mark Schlereth here. Denver is Truck Month only at Bozarth Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet, where every new and pre-owned truck comes with a spray-in bed liner included. That's right, every new truck, every bed protected. Plus, take advantage of deeply incentivized programs on all the new and pre-owned trucks, including the new Silverado and Colorado, with offers designed for their customers to take advantage of. Work harder, play harder, drive smarter. Only at Bozarth Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet, your trusted partner in automotive.
Hoops in Hamilton on the DU campus is intense this season.
And the Denver Pioneers have scored more points than any game in program history.
The threes are flying and the atmosphere is electric. Join us to create a home court advantage as conference play heats up.
Goes down low, feeds Wysocki, up with a two-handed dunk.
Group discounts and one-of-a-kind experiences await. Denver basketball. Get your tickets today at denverpioneers.com.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org. Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
A future starting member of the Denver Broncos may be on the field as we speak. We are watching live here, not like with an incredible amount of focus, but keeping one eye on the NFL Combine happening live in Indianapolis right now. And today is the day where the off-ball linebackers or inside linebackers are on the field doing the work, as well as the defensive tackles out there doing the work. And, man, I'll just say, and I feel like I've said this for, 9 straight years now, the athleticism of the D tackle has evolved as much as anything, I think, from a body type and a body profile as any position in football.
I mean, look at this. I mean, we're sitting here and we're looking at it now. These linebackers look like Terry Crews. They're 300 pounds, but look like bodybuilders.
No doubt.
The steroids are just different now in 2026 than they were in 1990.
Now, you don't really believe that, do you?
Oh, come on, Z. And it has to be steroids, but there's some growth hormones. There's different things that these players are doing to sculpture themselves out. I mean, let's just say this. Sometimes the body isn't meant to run 4.2s. The body isn't meant to look 250 pounds, rocked up, no body fat, but still can move like you're 180 pounds. Like there's a lot to it.
So you're being serious.
I'm being serious. I mean, from what I've seen in the locker rooms and just experienced, there's some stuff out there. I'm not telling you everybody's doing something, but everybody is trying to get that extra oomph out of it, right? You're competing. So you're always looking to like, what can I do to get in front of this guy? And if it means I have to take a little bit or do something else to make another couple $1 million, they're going to do it. Why would you not if you're in their shoes?
Well, I look at a guy like Caleb Banks, who Mel Kiper had mocked to the Denver Broncos in his first mock draft. He's 6'6", 330.
Come on.
And he's flying around. He's like doing the broad jump and the vert, and it's like, how can 6'6", 330 move like that? I mean, long gone are the days of like.
Thought you just were talking about me for a second.
No,
I can move still. I'm 6'6", 230, baby.
You are nowhere close to 6'6".
I could dream.
You're close to 330 these days that Caleb Banks is. But it's like one of these things where it's just long gone are the days. I remember this guy watching him grow up like Sam Adams. Like Sam Adams was like, he was a absolute tank. I mean, just the body fat was just pouring out of him. Not to say he wasn't muscular or anything like that. Or like I think of like Vince Wilfork. Remember, like he was
a big boy.
Just like they don't really. That's not the profile of the position anymore. And there's exceptions for everything, but just in general, man, that those D tackles. It's just it's a new era of athlete. So we know, speaking of inside linebackers, the Broncos have met with Ohio State's Sonny Styles, Missouri's Josiah Trotter, Oregon's Bryce Betcher, Georgia's C.J. Allen. I've seen him mocked to the Denver Broncos a handful of times, including from our own Joe Klatt here. Cincinnati's Jake Godley, Texas Tech Jake Rodriguez, who is just your favorite linebacker's favorite linebacker.
Very versatile.
So fun to watch this past year for the Red Raiders, whose wife is a Black Hawk pilot.
Yeah, come on. Oh, yes, you're right.
Yes.
You don't want to mess with her.
No, you don't.
Honey, I'm going to come home early.
So all of those linebackers have sat down for formal interviews with the Denver Broncos. It just goes to show you, by their actions, and it's no guarantee, but by their actions, they are really focusing in on that position.
Like we've talked about, Z, I wouldn't mind a defensive tackle. You need a defensive tackle. John Franklin Myers seems like he's out the door. But if you are looking at like what you must get, like what you need right now, the Denver Broncos need an inside linebacker. And supposedly it's rich this year. But if you can get an inside linebacker that can start right away, because that position is very hard. I look at it like the tight end position. It's a slow starting position because you're looking for a linebacker that can be 230, 240. All right, stop the run, take on and shed blocks. All right, when you have 330-pound offensive linemen coming after you, wrap up and tackle these 230-pound running backs, but then have enough speed to stay with the running backs, with the slots, with the tight ends, but also still be very instinctive and smart to be able to put people in the right places like Alex Singleton is able to do, where it's like, oh, you're out of place, I need you to move in, and yet I still need to be able to play my gap, my part, my role. It's hard to do that as a rookie inside linebacker. So if you got one out there that you feel like can start, then you go out there and you get him in that first round.
Well, George Payton was asked about that. Are there linebackers in this class that he thinks can play right away?
I think so. I think this is a pretty good linebacker class. I mean, it is a tough position for a rookie to come in and play right away, especially with some of the things we do. But I do like the depth of this class. I do. And so we'll see. Again, it's early in the process. We interviewed those guys last night. It was a sharp group, definitely.
Sharp group, deep class. And what could that mean, this deep class? Could that influence the decision on Alex Singleton or Justin Sternad?
Yeah, I mean, those like Alex and Justin, I mean, those guys we'd love to have those guys back. We'd love to have them back. I mean, those, regardless of what's in the draft, these are, we see those guys as Broncos. If we let those guys leave, what do we do? Those are good dudes. And that doesn't mean we can get them, right? I mean, everyone's watching tape. But, you look at both. I mean, when you're getting your plan for free agency, you look at the draft. Where's it strong there? Okay, maybe it's strong, at receiver. Maybe, so it's just, it is a balance, and you do develop your plan. So it is a good question. But with some players, man, you just want to get back regardless of the strength,
I don't want to go overboard reading into words in the month of February, but it did sound like he kind of caught himself, like we're going to let those guys go? Like, what are we doing? And then kind of stopped himself?
Yeah.
Do you think that was genuine?
Yeah, I do. I think that if it's up to George Payton, the general manager, he wants to get his guys back. All right, Justin Sternad, Alex Singleton. Why? Because they're vets that you can count on that had really, really solid years this year. And we all know from what Dre Greenlaw has said about Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator's scheme, is it can be tough to start. So even if you draft an inside linebacker, a rookie linebacker, it's going to take some time for them to truly develop into like what they want him to be. So you need somebody that can go in there and play right away that you can lean on. And that's why I believe you can't have Justin Sternad and Alex Singleton both come back.
I agree.
I think you're going to pick one of them, and you're going to go with the younger guy in Justin Sternad who can do a lot more for you. He's young. He's versatile. All right, he can cover a little bit better than Alex Singleton. He can play special teams. Now, with that being said, you're going to pay someone like Justin Sternad, and not as much as you probably would have to maybe Alex Singleton, because Justin Sternad hasn't played enough or showed that he could be a dominant number one inside linebacker for 31 other teams. So you can get him cheaper than you would my guess in Alex Singleton, and it's a guy that's going to be that placeholder until that rookie inside linebacker is ready to truly go.
All right. Hey, every year at the end of the football season, the players are asked to give grades about the organization, the head coach, the owner, all of it. And these results are not supposed to come out yet, but they have leaked for the Denver Broncos. And it's interesting on several levels. And we'll get to it next.
Do the Broncos need a major reset at tight end this offseason?
Give me a break on this tight end room. Seriously, get this tight end room fixed. It's time to upgrade it. We put it on the back burner long enough. Eventually, you got to upgrade this thing, and this is the offseason to do it.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale our no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
You really are amazing. My name is Glenn Jamron. I'm chairman of Alpine Bank, member FDIC. You've told us how some people get mad at you for following your own pathway in life. You've said they judge you. Know this. Each of us is entitled to our own opinion. Why? Because we're all different. The pathways you choose in life are your own. It's your life, no one else's. And that's okay. Nobody likes to feel judged. No one likes to have others mad at them. But the key to navigating judgmentalism is to check things out, make your decision, and then commit to being true to yourself. Let others say and feel what they wish. They have that right, and you have the right, the obligation, to follow your own heart. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado, and you.
Cecil Lammy here for SodaWeightLoss.com, and they changed my life so much. I know how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat thanks to SodaWeightLoss.com. I lost over 60 pounds a few years ago, and I'm never going back. Having my own nutritionist made all the results. A real person, so I could go with questions, concerns, and maybe just even sometimes just need some encouragement. Join Soda Weight Loss for a short time to have results that last a lifetime, just like me. Call them up at 1-866-800-SODA, SodaWeightLoss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, state-of-the-art.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health.
This February, save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins.
Still haven't filed your taxes? Hey, you're not the only one. A lot of good people fall behind. But here's the thing. The longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties stack up. Interest piles on. The letters get more aggressive. None of it magically disappears. It's why I always tell folks, call my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions. These are not generalists. They don't dabble in tax problems. They live in this world. Resolving IRS issues is all they do. Maybe you're 1 year behind. Maybe you're 10. Maybe you've got unfiled returns, wage garnishments, bank levies, or you're just losing sleep wondering what the IRS is going to do next. Their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, talk to the IRS for you, stop the stress, and start putting a real plan in place. And listen, waiting never makes it better. Every day you delay is another day the IRS gets to tighten the screws. One quick call to Advanced Tax Solutions, that could be the start of a quick resolution. So take control of your tax situation before the IRS does. Reach out to Advanced Tax Solutions today and breathe again. Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Follow us on X at DEN Sports 1043 for up-to-the-minute information and opinions on all things Denver sports. Also, we can still call it Twitter, right? Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, so handful of things to cover here. We'll get to the Calvin Booth stuff. Calvin Booth gave a sit-down interview with Kevin O'Connor that was really interesting on several different levels, and we have some audio that you may not have heard. You may not have heard. Okay?
I thought you were the one. I thought you were the one that was going to interview old Mr. Booth.
No.
You had the chance.
I did have the chance. Last Thursday, I did speak to him for a second. But no sit-down interview with Calvin. But we'll get to that because it's, wow. I mean, there's a lot to it. Okay. In the meantime, every year, not quite around this time, it's not supposed to be around this time. It's supposed to come out a little bit later, but every year you get the player report card. The players giving grades to the organization.
How do you like them apples? Take that.
Yeah, so we so often, are grading the players. This is an opportunity for the players to grade the coaches, the weight room, the training staff, the owner, the team travel, the general manager, all this stuff. And so
players need we need to send a report card to them to grade our not just our show, but everybody in the market. All the media.
Have them grade us?
Yeah.
That would be fascinating.
That would be interesting.
That would be, yeah.
Because they're listening.
I'm sure some are.
Oh, they're listening.
You think so?
Oh, they're listening, Z. They're always listening.
And there's got to be some guys, though, that, some of these young guys that don't even realize we exist as a station.
No, they're listening.
You think so? All right.
They have it on us.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Oh, yeah.
So we have the leaked results for the Denver Broncos. Okay? So we'll just kind of go through it in order as it's written down. The players gave the Broncos treatment of families a B. All right? I don't know what these guys are thinking when they cast this vote. What they're prioritizing, whether if they had one bad instance where, a 13th person wasn't allowed on the field before a game or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Look, it comes down to them asking their wives, how do they like the experience? Are they being treated right? What does it look like after the game? I know when I was playing for the Denver Broncos, right after the game, all the family is sitting outside in the cold. Now, when I was with the Miami Dolphins, it was so hot. They had an area for the families to sit in the cool and wait for their loved ones to come out. So maybe it's something like that, or maybe it is. The wife wanted to have 6 friends on the football field. She can only have 4. Like, it's little things like that.
The disrespect.
The disrespect. My man, the player has to come home and listen to the wife talk about, I couldn't get, so-and-so on the field today. Like, baby, I don't care.
Right. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's a new world in that department. The players gave the home game field, the field itself, an A. No surprise given the investment that the ownership group has replacing the field. I mean, every year since they've been here, replacing it at a certain point during the season. The food and dining area, the players gave it an A.
That's a step up, man.
This has, do you think it's changed since you got there?
Oh, Z, dramatically changed. I mean, if I was grading our food, it'd be a C- when I was playing. And you're telling me that they're giving it an A? That means that they have, my guess, some good chefs in there. They're feeding them really, really good right before the game. I told you, before the game, we were eating chicken tenders and pizza. I mean, that's not good. We had to ask for a pasta layout for us, and that's when they started to give it to us. But it's like, this is something that should already be in there.
Sure.
When I was with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were new, like they built the facility and everything. They had everything for us and the players and different chefs to make different things, whether it's pasta or some type of barbecue. I mean, they have so much money to just spend that they're doing that.
Yeah, and I've noticed even in the last couple of years here when we're out at training camp, like coming off the field, there is parfaits and stuff ready for the players, like different kinds of shakes, and it's all just like grab and go. And obviously they're gonna have bigger meals inside, but like upon entering the facility, re-entering the facility, it's all laid out there for them. So they get an A in that department. Holy moly.
Sound like me right now, huh?
Nutritionist and dietitian, got a B+. The locker room got a D.
Of course.
And that is almost expected knowing that they're leaving this situation. Yes. It's rather small, right?
It is. It's really, really small, and they don't have enough lockers. So then they have some extra lockers that they build up in the middle, so it's just crammed right now. And so you get dressed, and you got another grown man looking at you right in the eyes. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah, okay. The training room got an A-. The training staff got an A.
Right.
And that's Bo Lowry, right? I would think. And his team. It's not just Bo.
And Vince, the head trainer. We got to make sure we say that.
All right.
We got to make sure we say it, Z. I'm telling you. I almost got beat up for not saying Vince's name.
It's a whole team of people.
Vince Garcia.
Okay.
Actually, one of the best to do it. He has always helped me out. Shout out, Vince.
Shout out.
There we go.
The weight room got an A.
All right.
The strength coaches got an A. The position coaches got a B. The offensive coordinator, so in this case would be Joe Lombardi, got an A-. The defensive coordinator, in this case Vance Joseph, got an A.
All right. Why not an A+?
I don't. Oh yeah. You know what? You can get an A+ because there is one A+ on here.
What's the deal?
We'll get to it. So Vance Joseph got an A. I mean, that's pretty damn good, Phil.
Come on. A+ would have been better, but I'll take an A.
Special teams coordinator, A-. Team travel, A-. Again, I'm curious on that too because they have the new big boy like
double-decker plane
that is like
all the food you can eat. And what, they didn't get a pillow to go with it, a blanket?
I mean, okay. So team travel got an A-. The head coach got a B. The general manager, so Sean Payton got a B. The general manager, George Payton, got an A.
Hold up. Wait a minute. So Sean Payton, the coach, that called his shot and almost was correct by getting the Denver Broncos to a Super Bowl. They were one game away from the Super Bowl. The players, they betrayed him and gave him a B. What in the world? And then, of course, George, he gets an A?
He gets an A. Very interesting. And again, you don't know who's thinking what, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're George and you're Quinn Miners, I'm giving George an A, right? He gave me my contract.
Gave me an opportunity.
But then there's like John Franklin Myers. What grade did he give George Payton? If you didn't get an extension and you were up for one, J-Mac. Again, like, how did he view his whole situation this year? Again, I don't know. But it is interesting to see George Payton get a full letter grade better than Sean Payton. And you know who I'm thinking of right now, too, in this moment? Is Dre Greenlaw, who was critical of Sean Payton after the season in the end-of-the-year locker cleanout day when he was like, yeah, he's a lot different than Kyle. Like, he's having me full go on Wednesdays, and we're practicing for X amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not used to that. And so it was a negative review. It had a negative tone to it. So I'm thinking of someone like him. I'm thinking of someone like Evan Ingram.
Ooh, that's a good one. Evan Ingram sitting there didn't hold himself accountable to anything that went down this year. He just kind of said, hey, I'm doing what the coaches wanted me to do. So obviously he's probably a little upset with Sean because, one, Sean's the head coach, but he's also the play caller.
Right.
So you're right. Evan Ingram may have gave him like a D+.
Yeah, and so if you're one of these players who feels you're negatively impacted by Sean Payton, you're going to be more apt to give him a lower grade because there's one A+, and we haven't got to it yet. But, and again, if you're just joining us, these are the player grades, the annual, is it the NFLPA, I want to say?
Yes.
And did I see something that these weren't supposed to be public anymore? Did I see something like that?
Yeah, so they're not public. I think they're all just getting leaked.
Okay. Because before
by the way, that's crazy that like the NFL is trying to stop that from happening.
Well, they ruled that they're not allowed to make them public due to the NFL CBA.
Okay. Because in the past, they weren't just public. They're like publicized. Like,
Yes.
click on this article. It's everyone's grades.
Yeah, like listed.
So they're just leaking out, I suppose. The grades are pretty high. I mean, you're talking A, B+, locker room got a D, A-, A, B, A-, A-, head coach got a B, GM got an A. There was one A+, and that was team ownership.
Of course. I mean, you better give them an A+, and what they have done so far, probably changing the field out twice a year by building this facility that all these guys are going to be able to be in, by building this stadium and this district that's getting ready to go up, by talking and being around all the time and being present. I mean, they deserve an A+. I'm still on Sean Payton getting a B. Everybody got a really good grade. I don't know if a B is a good grade for Sean. I think Sean will be upset if he sees this, and he saw this.
Oh, definitely. And he's like, dude, like, I'm the head coach of a 14-3 team. Like, this was nothing before I got here, and you players want to give me a B?
Davis Webb, come in here. No play calling duties now.
Man, it is just interesting. But again, there's unhappy players on every single team from middle school right on up.
No matter what.
Whether it's kids who don't play, whether it's guys like Evan Ingram who don't think they're being used the right way, or if you're a Dre Greenlaw and you're like, why am I practicing this much? Why did you bring me here to practice this much? I'm a veteran's veteran. Like, and by the way, when was this vote taken? Because I think that could be relevant to Bo's grade for Sean.
Oh, you got Bo turning on him, saying, "You know what? Give this man a C."
If this poll was taken the day after Sean says he's predisposed to injury and it's his third surgery, and here's what the surgeon said. Like, I know I don't talk about injuries, but here's literally what the surgeon told me about his ankle.
If I remember correct, it's taken towards the end of the year. Towards the end of the year, the NFLPA rep's going to come in to your meeting room, explain that this is so important for us to do and that it's going to tell us a lot and it's going to help you guys out. It's like, how? the NFLPA seems like they're in cahoots with the NFL. But okay, we'll take this survey for you guys, and you do it, and yeah. Then it gets leaked, and now you have Sean that's upset, and now everybody's going to be running when they get back in town.
Oh, man. It is interesting. And again, it's just interesting. I was going to say, like, your view of something, it could be your perspective and, like, how long you've been in the NFL and how used to some things are you or accustomed to. Like, if it's your first year in the league and you don't have any other frame of reference, man, you probably think everything's amazing. But if you have been to Miami or fill in the blank or played for Kyle Shanahan and know how Wednesdays are handled, and you know what I'm saying? Like, your perception is so much in life like what is your reality.
I have, I'll tell you this. Mark Ingram, when we were with the Houston Texans, Mark was used to me with the Baltimore Ravens, and I guess with Baltimore, Mark was a vet, and if you're a vet that's been in the league 8+ years, you don't have to come in on Wednesdays. You work out, you got to be at meetings, but you get to go home while everybody else practices. So when Mark got to Houston, he saw that like, yo, I'm practicing. My man went out there and told the coach he wasn't practicing his own self. And what were they going to do to him? They were paying him a contract. So every Wednesday, guess what, Z? I would have to pick up his duties. Somebody else would, and my man would be at home, chilling.
At home?
At home.
Stop.
And he would come back for the meetings. He wasn't practicing.
So he wasn't even on the sideline?
No. And if he was just sitting there chilling, drinking a Gatorade.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I can't wait to be at that level.
Oh, man. All right. Well, those are your Bronco player grades, grading the organization. Mostly positive. One really low grade, which was the locker room. One a really high grade, A+, which was team ownership. George Payton gets a full letter grade better than Sean Payton, I think are the big takeaways here. All right, this is KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By and Phillip Lindsay, and we are The Drive. Woo! Hanging out with you. We're going to be joined by James Palmer here in just about 13 minutes. Call it 12. And check in with our guy James. We haven't talked to him in just about a month and get his thoughts of everything that we learned yesterday. I want to talk about Calvin Booth, all right, who the former general manager for the Denver Nuggets, a part of the most successful era, the greatest era of Denver Nuggets basketball of all time, that got so toxic it was blown up. And he sat down with Kevin O'Connor, and I know one of his quotes yesterday that was going viral. We touched on it, saying that he made things look too easy, but there's a lot more to the conversation than just that. Here was Calvin Booth wanting to get his version of things out, talking about an NBA coach like Michael Malone and the dynamic with the GM.
In my situation, thinking about this, I've had some time to think about it. There's such a weird paradox with NBA coaches, right? They're in the midst of a lion den. They're dealing with players. They're some of the most formidable size-wise and ego-wise in the world. And they're managing them, they're coaching them, those guys buy in. And then I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where this happens. They have to, quote unquote, report to like a general manager and maybe doesn't have the gravitas they do. I just think it's a human nature thing. I just think it's really hard. So you put that into our scenario and all the stuff that was floating out there. You take a coach that's tenured as long as Michael Malone, that's accomplished what he's done, that's won a championship. And like, I never even tried to position myself like he was reporting to me, but like I think that's where the perceived friction comes from, right? I don't even think it's like, I don't think it's that personal. When I look back on it, I don't think it's that personal. I think that could happen with a lot of coaches in the same situation. And honestly, I think you could put 100 GMs in my position. I don't know what, 3 or 4 of them do as good as I did and handle the situation as well as I did. Right? So that's the way I look at it.
Wow. There's a lot there. The one, during the middle of that response was a general theme of his sit-down podcast interview with Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports. He said the perceived friction.
Yeah.
He really, if there was one or two main objectives as someone who's listened to this entire thing and in a lot of cases listening for a second time, is that one of his aims of this was to try to frame this thing as business as usual with the GM and head coach and not a war. Like, I did not go to war with my head coach. That's not who I am. This got blown out of proportion. It was only perceived friction. It's actually supernatural given the dynamics. And that was a big takeaway there that you heard a snippet of. And then at the end was one of my larger takeaways is that he said, hey, put 100 GMs in my situation. How many do as good as I do? 3, maybe 4. And there's an arrogance with Calvin Booth that is combined with a lack of awareness, I think. And even if you believe that, I don't know if he knows how he sounds when he says it on behalf of his own self.
And I like in love, actually, what you said right there is because he is trying to pitch to everybody that he's not this bad guy. That everything that went down wasn't as bad as it looked or people out there are saying. And he's trying to build this narrative up that everything is just okay, right? That everything is status quo and I should be back out there at some point. But also, it seems like in a way, did he not try to take a shot in saying, well, how many other GMs could do what I did? 3, maybe 4? Is that a shot at someone like Michael Malone? Because are you saying, like, do what you did when you have one of the greatest players in the world? Because I guarantee a lot of these general managers can sit there and say, if we have Jokic, we have a great chance to win not just one, but multiple championships. But also, if you're someone like Calvin Booth and you say that, you're like, I had to deal with a bunch of crap to go with this, and I don't know if 100 other GMs could do what I just had to do and still be successful. I don't know. I'm trying to.
No. I think there's something to that. I mean, he's he could be thinking or potentially a shot at Michael Malone of just how hard Michael was to work with, which, by the way, I don't know how hard it really was. We're not behind the scenes, and Michael Malone, for damn sure. I mean, these are two guys, and let me just say this plainly. These are two guys that have massive egos.
Yes.
Both of them, okay? And not to say that you can't have an ego. It's almost natural to be in that position. You don't get to that position unless you've had incredible success. And when you have incredible success and you win a championship, an ego can naturally be a part of it. But you have to know where the line is and when to check that ego and when to not pick up your sword for every potential battle. And again, I don't know what the actual dynamics look like behind the scenes, but it was a big deal. Let me just say this, like he's the perceived friction. No, it wasn't perceived. It was incredibly real. We know this.
You got fired, not just you, Michael Malone and yourself. Calvin Booth got fired with 3 games left in the season, and your team was getting ready for the playoffs.
Yes.
It's a huge deal. Something went on that wasn't right that the head man had to say, both of you guys are out the door.
Yeah. And here's a little bit more from Booth talking about and before I play this, I want to make sure we're clear on this. Booth was the general manager for years. Booth was the GM when they won the championship, but he was the GM years before that. Technically, he was the general manager of record when they traded for Aaron Gordon. But we know that wasn't his move. That was Tim Connolly. And so when Tim Connolly left is really when the Calvin Booth, quote-unquote, era began as an executive, despite him not changing a role. He just stayed the GM, but now was officially in charge. And he was asked about that dynamic once he did officially become in charge.
There's no way you're not winning when you're not aligned. But what is alignment like in the scenario that I talk about with that, when you think about that paradox, just that general paradox about how head coaches, they're the only people in the world that have that kind of authority that those kind of people listen to that have to like maybe report to some, quote unquote, report to somebody. And that wasn't Coach Malone's relationship. So when I get that title, it's not an option for me not to do my job, right? I'm going to do my job. So I think one of the only outcomes where everybody thinks we're aligned is me submit, lay down, not do the job, and that's not an option for me. So some version of this was when it happened. Could have been quieter, Could have not thrown legs with the media? Could it not been such a crawl in ownership's pants? Like, maybe there's some different things that could happen in that regard.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's annoying. If you're owner of a team and you're hearing about a conflict between, your head coach and your GM, however real or however blown out of proportion it is, like, that's not, they have 7 other sports teams to run, like, right? The
way I look at it, though, Calvin, is it's not often that a GM and a coach get fired on the same day. Like, was it really blown out of proportion when that just never happens?
I don't know. I have a hard time processing that question. I don't even really know what it means.
And that's one of those where I just shake my head. It's like he's kind of and I don't want to make this like Calvin Booth. It's black and white. He's bad for the Nuggets, wrong for the Nuggets.
Yeah,
he did good stuff, but there is a general. I'll just go back to it's a general lack of awareness. You are acting like, or trying to purposely frame it for the rest of the league of like, you once again said, hey, it's annoying for the ownership if your head coach and your GM are beefing, like even if it's overblown, right? In the previous answer we played or response we played, it was perceived friction. It was overblown. I think that he's doing that to try to frame things for a potential next job. And that this was not that unusual.
Would you blame him for doing that? I mean, the reason why he's, my guessing, on this podcast is for his voice to be heard and his version of the story, so that maybe he does get that opportunity again to be a general manager of the next team.
Yeah.
And because everybody talks. And once something like that happens, where your general manager and head coach both get fired after just winning a championship not too long ago, do you think somebody else is going to want to bring that person in? It's like there's something there, and then you start to talk to maybe the owner and say what happened. They're going to tell their story. You say, I'm good on it,
right? And
all of a sudden you look up and you're blacklisted. You don't have an opportunity anymore because of what just went down. So maybe he's trying to clear the air. Well, he is obviously trying to clear the air of I'm the victim in some of this stuff, and some of this stuff was blown out of proportion too when it comes to me and Michael Malone.
Yeah, I think in general that was the aim of sitting down and doing this. I think that was the purpose of sitting down and doing this, to try to reframe the narrative, what happened, through his lens, and his thought process on that is to basically say that things were over-exaggerated. And at one point he says, he goes, "Where's the smoking gun?" He goes, "Did me and Michael Malone, get in a physical altercation in front of people?" And it was such a weird comment of is that the standard for a healthy relationship? That you guys didn't physically fight in front of people? That is an incredibly low bar. Here's a little bit more from him, talking about his resume and potential job openings that he wasn't getting calls for.
Maybe somebody's on me. I don't know about out there, but I'm just saying, I don't. My door wasn't knocking down when people were waiting to hire me. And I felt like, again, that's where this whole thing got blown out of proportion. If you just look tangibly what I did, what my win percentage was, what I drafted, working with a coach like Coach Malone as a first-time GM, I just don't know how my door isn't.
Oh man. When you say, because really he's talking to other potential suitors in a lot of ways.
Yes.
He's using Kevin O'Connor's platform to talk to potential suitors.
Which everybody usually does. If you have the power to do it, why would you not use that to try to help yourself out as much as possible?
I get his intentions. He's out of the business. He wants to get back into the business. But when you say, so let's just go with that. You're talking to potential team presidents or owners that could hire you, and they're not. And your response is partly, I don't know how my door's not getting knocked over. And it's just, it again speaks to sort of an arrogance with a lack of awareness and more of there was really nothing to see here.
But that's how he feels. He feels like there was nothing to see, and that people should be looking at him and looking at what his resume has done. And his resume speaks for itself when it comes to talent. That's what I'm getting at. It's it speaks for itself when it comes to hey, I helped create a championship. or a champion and a team that went to the championship.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't somebody not come knocking on the door? And maybe he's not looking at it just as a general manager. Maybe he's not getting calls to just be a part of a organization right now.
Yep.
And he just wants to be back in the mix of like, hey, having a chance to work my way back up. But nobody wants to give him the call because of what just went down. You just got fired, and not just you, the head coach, and both of you guys got fired at the same damn time. Nobody wants that in the building.
No. And it's well, and I know this is the response that went viral when we played it yesterday, but there's a reason it went viral. And if I'm a GM and I listen to Calvin Booth say this.
I think I just made it look too easy.
What do you mean by that? A little too easy?
All right, so you're a podcaster, journalist, anybody that has that's really good at something, when they make it look easy, that was really, really hard to get to. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, it's a lifetime's worth of playing basketball, being coaching basketball, having conversations, scouting, doing whatever. For me to make it like, go in there right away, assemble a championship team, win a championship, and that's the part that, like, I'll separate that for a second. I'll finish with the last and final thing. I think when you take the Joker thing, the head coach paradox, the ownership and their precedence, and hey, look, they have a formula that works. Championships in hockey, basketball, football. Arsenal will probably get one soon. So, I mean, and it's their prerogative to operate that way, and I think it's the right call. I'll probably disagree with their take upon executives, especially in this world, but, like, who am I? They've been so successful, right? Like, so maybe it's the right way to operate. But I'll say that you encompass all that in some media manipulation, and then all of a sudden, like, somehow, some way, I'm not running an NBA team right now.
There's so much there, and we have James Palmer here. But again, if I'm a potential team president looking to hire this guy, it's like, and you're like, I'm the man. How is my door not getting knocked down? I assembled a team. Like, I'm somehow, some way not running an NBA team. It's just, I thought he came off-putting, lack of self-awareness, and I think his intention was to help himself, and I think he actually did the opposite. We can put a pin in it.
Put a pin in that.
We can circle back to it. James Palmer, our guy, joining us for the first time in just about a month. James, thanks for making a couple minutes for us here on a Thursday. We had been talking about the potential of Sean Payton giving up play calling, and I know there was some fair skepticism, like, is Sean Payton going to actually do that? What was your level of surprise earlier this week when Sean Payton came out and didn't just, like, make the decision behind the scenes, but openly spoke about it in the way that he did?
Yeah, Zach, I wasn't shocked. I know we talked about it a lot, and I kept telling you, people close to him, I do a show with Chase Daniel, who's maybe as close to him as anybody, and he just couldn't believe or comprehend the idea of Sean giving up play calling, and that's somebody who's been in a room with him for hours and hours and hours about how Sean goes about play calling and how much pride he takes in it. And he is one of the best play callers over the last, 20 years. I mean, I sat down with George Payton. Shameless plug, go check Twitter right now. I just posted the whole conversation. And we talked about where he kind of ranks, and he's right near the top in George's mind. So with all of that said, everybody was going, could we really, really see this? But I think it's a really interesting step, and I think it means a lot to the organization when Sean thought this was what's best for them to get to the next step. And I think a telling part of my conversation with George was, Zach, that, like, I said, does now Davis Webb have a larger voice in the room now that he is the offensive coordinator, the play caller? Will he have a bigger say in personnel? And George kind of looked at me and laughed and said, he's always had a huge voice in the room. So that tells me it's been a number of years where they've already had the perception of this guy being at this level, right? And so I don't think he would have moved like this off of play calling for just anybody. So I think it shows a lot of awareness in where Sean's at. We can go over how we think maybe the process will go if we'd like, but I do think Davis is a huge part of this when I had that conversation with George.
Well, I definitely want to talk about the process and how it's going to go, but before that, do you truly believe that Sean Payton was the only one that decided, hey, I wanted to step down, or was this more of like an agreement from the top down, right? From Greg Penner to George to Sean, all of them coming together and saying maybe this is the right move, or was this just strictly on Sean saying, I'm ready to step down, I'm doing it myself, I'm making this decision?
You know, I don't know fully, Phil, but I would say if anybody knows Sean, he's very self-aware. And when major things like this happen, I do think he takes the decision pretty much upon himself. I would say if anybody else was involved, I know other people were consulted, and he talked about it with other people, really is dating back to mid-season, honestly. And maybe some of those conversations pushed him in the direction a little bit further. But I do believe Sean made this decision, and it was kind of where he stood with it. I think there were maybe a couple of instances during the season. I mean, we all know about the one late, but maybe a couple of them during the year where he goes, you know, I'm taking a little bit longer looking at the sheet, and I'm missing blank because he takes so much pride in every other aspect of being the head coach and everything else that comes in with it in terms of looking at the field and management and all that stuff. And maybe he had a couple of those instances during the season where he said, you know, I missed this, and if I didn't, you know, have this on my shoulders right now where I'm at, I think I would have been able to help the entire team. I think, Phil, that's more or less where it was. I don't think he was forced by any stretch into making the change.
James, the Broncos' offense for 2 straight years has been a bit of a slow starter, and if the Davis Webb-led offense, and I say led in air quotes because we know Sean Payton is still going to be hyper involved, but if the play calling isn't translating into on-field success, you know, wins in the win column, and say they start slow the same way that the Broncos have here a couple years in a row, what kind of leash do you think Davis Webb has here, and what level of patience? And obviously I'm asking you to speculate. This is a new frontier here in Denver. But what kind of patience will Sean Payton show his young protege if they're not achieving that success, and Sean's the one wearing the wins and losses?
Let me get this straight. We have just found out Davis Webb is calling plays, Zach. He was a finalist for multiple jobs in his early 30s as a head coach and has blown interviews away across the NFL. He has been raved about as one of the best young offensive minds in football, and we're already taking play calling away from him?
No, because we know Sean Payton. No, like
I'm just saying it's just a weird avenue to go down.
Well, hold on.
This early in the process, I get the question, but I'm just like, the dude is like one of the hottest names in all of, you know, offensive football in the NFL, and we're already going, well, what if he doesn't succeed? I feel like I'm back in Philly right now where I grew up. Like, this is sports talk radio at WIP. Like, this dude's going to fail already. What's going on? Listen, I would say this. I think it's going to be a collaboration to a decent extent. I think there have been times, like I'll use a comparison to Kansas City. Like, Eric Bieniemy, oftentimes when he was there in his first stint, would call 2-minute, would call, you know, end of half, end of game, would call red zone. And in those instances, too, Andy's on the mic, and Andy is, you know, going, hey, next play, maybe we're thinking run, you know, and he has his eyes out there, hey, leading him in a certain direction at times. I think that's a part of maybe this collaboration that I you know, again, this is a little bit of my opinion, but I could see Sean having that going, hey, if we get a first down here, I wouldn't mind if we did blank.
Sure.
And Davis kind of looking at that part of the sheet. And I think that's kind of maybe where we're going to be at. I think, you know, Sean's going to have a big part of this. But I do understand the question, as I was joking around a little bit with you guys for sure. But, like, this is also a spot with everything I said. This could be a one-year thing. And then who's calling plays in 2027 if Davis gets a head coaching job? Does it go back to Sean? I think that's going to be something that, yeah, we are kind of all looking at this. And that's, I guess, Zach, if it goes well, right?
Yeah, and you know, my hope is, because we're all pretty hopeful that this is going to be a raging success, but yeah. I think one of my other hopes is that Sean Payton enjoys being a CEO to a level that he didn't quite realize. That you're the general, you know, and in the movies, the general's like leading from the front, but in reality, more oftentimes than not, the general was in the back at the highest point so he could see the whole battlefield. And that's my hope for Sean Payton, is that it becomes a new fastball for him, if you will, but a different kind of pitch, to stay with that same sort of analogy.
Yeah, I agree with that, honestly. And I do think, you know, if you know how Sean is wired, I do think he has, I think, a little bit excitement with what you're describing and a little bit, you know, of joy about it because of who he's working with. You know what I mean? Like, I think oftentimes when you have, like, you use the general analogy, but oftentimes when, like, somebody's at, like, the top of their game and then somebody kind of, younger and energetic and with some new ideas and concepts comes along and some innovative ways to do it, and you see it as well, and you kind of take pride in that. And I think there's part of that where Sean's like, I know I have this guy that can really, really do this. And I think together, while I have that spot that you're mentioning, Zach, like I'm there overseeing it in a sense, and I'm leading him in this direction, and then he's going to make it even better in how he sees it and how we go about this. Like, I think there's kind of a joy to that for Sean, if that's the way the operation is going to go. And so my point is, I don't think he would have kind of this excitement towards that style that you're saying if he didn't really feel the way he felt about the guy who is now calling the plays.
James, I know you're talking to a bunch of people, and Davis Webb, he's new on the scene, he's young, he's hungry, but what do you think that this offense is going to look like with Davis Webb calling plays? What does Bo Nix look like with Davis Webb calling plays?
Yeah, that's a good question, Phil, because, so much of what Sean does with his offense, and if you talk to people that have been around him for a long time, they always say, hey, year 3 is everything for the quarterback in a Sean Payton offense. That's when you can really take, full ownership of it. And now heading into year 3, there's a little bit of a wrinkle, right? A little bit of a change. Let's not let's not speak out of school here and think that this is going to be like Davis Webb's offense. They're going to be running Sean Payton's offense, but I do think there's going to be some aspects of it that Davis brings to it. Now, what those are specifically, well, I think that's still TBD, in all honesty. I do think they've had a lot of thoughts about how they want to run this. I think there's been a lot of times where we've seen guys open, honestly, in the way that this has been schemed up. Don't want that to change. But I do think there's a really, really great relationship between Bo and Davis. And I think that played a part in Davis coming back. And I think, honestly, nobody understands Bo in that building better than Davis. So I think that part plays a big role in this, because there might be times where he goes, he was on the sideline and not he's undercutting Sean, but he might be thinking of a different play with his relationship with Bo. And then now we get to see what he was thinking when he was seeing certain situations on the field.
All right, James, great stuff as always. Thanks for making some time for us on a Thursday, and I'm sure we'll catch up at some point along this offseason.
Oh, always, guys, always. Let's go.
All right, there he goes. That's our guy, JP James Palmer. I want to react to one or two things that he said. Also, someone else up in Boulder telling Coach Prime, no thanks. Details next.
The champ! Are you ready? Do you consider yourself a super fan? Well, now's your chance to prove it. It's Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan Super Fan Send-Off, presented by 303 Law 4040, sending you to Las Vegas for the biggest pro wrestling event in the world. A pair of 2-night event tickets, airfare, and hotel all included, plus a $500 Visa card. So get in the ring and enter now at DenverSports.com/superfan. That's DenverSports.com/superfan.
What's going on, gentlemen? Happy Thursday. And guys, let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And what I'm talking about is, if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, ED, guys, you know it's an intimacy destroyer. And research out there shows that men can draw away from their partners when ED affects the sex life. The conditions can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and even worse. A man's partner can blame themselves when ED becomes the problem. And nobody's partner should be blaming themselves. All right, it's on you to fix your erectile dysfunction problem. Here to help you out, because their treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some of their treatments can have you last an hour or even more if you have that much stamina. Schedule a consult today with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. If you do that, your initial visit is only $99, which will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, AT, and PSA test, and if medically advised, the test dose. And here's the thing, if the test dose does not work in the office, the visit is free. They also have 5 locations out there to serve you as well, so there are no excuses. Go get treated. You can go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. What a deal.
Your new morning groove. Iced coffee from McDonald's, any size for just $1 until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you worrying about those upcoming credit card bills after the holidays? If you're a homeowner, there's no better time than now to call American Financing and wipe out that debt, eliminate the stress, and set yourself up for a strong 2026. The Fed dropped rates for the 4th time in December. American Financing can help you access that equity in your home at an interest rate in the low 5s. You heard that right, in the low 5s. That is a much lower rate than the average 20% or more credit card rate. American Financing is saving their customers an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise to start the new year. There are no upfront fees and no obligation to see how much you can save. And they are closing some in as fast as 10 days and even delaying 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans. Call them today at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, 2-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer.
This February, save 25% off all primetime functional trainers, home gyms, and racks. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text ROAD to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text ROAD to 323232 right now. Text ROAD to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's ROAD to 323232. Text ROAD to 323232 now.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, bottom half of hour number 4. here on a Thursday. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I know this isn't as big of a deal to maybe the next person or anyone, but it is so cool that we get to pass 5:30 on a Thursday in February, and the sun is still out.
Ah, man, it's beautiful. Like, the sun is still beaming. Makes it feel like it's summertime.
Getting there.
Feels like it's summertime in certain situations, which is very scary because when summertime comes rolling around and it's really, really hot, that means that there's going to be some fires. Our lawns are going to be burning up. We're going to have water restrictions.
Totally.
You know, I'm already thinking of all this stuff, man.
Well, I said going into the last break that someone else up in Boulder is telling Deion Sanders, no thank you.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
So yesterday, the curveball news was that Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator for the Buffs, highest paid in the history of the program, is opting to leave the program and take a significant pay cut to come back into the NFL and actually work for the Denver Broncos. That was Wednesday. Here on a Thursday, we just learned this afternoon that the Hall of Famer, Warren Sapp, is out in Boulder. He's leaving Deion Sanders' staff after 2 years of working with the program.
Z, you're going to be relieved to watch on game days. The pylons are still going to be standing straight up.
How are they going to function as a program without Warren Sapp kicking over the pylons?
Look at you. But what? It's just another, like, what's going on kind of situation. In my head, it's like, okay, Warren Sapp, who has advocated for Coach Prime over and over and over, and that's his boy, he's no longer there. Was it Coach Prime saying, hey, I don't need a distraction? I don't want you up here anymore? Was it Warren Sapp saying, hey, I don't want to do this anymore? Was it both of them mutually parting ways? I mean, it's just another coach that decides to leave right before spring ball hits.
Right.
It's not a good look.
Right. And, you know, earlier in the offseason, Domata Peko left the program as well.
He did.
And so imagine being a commit that is preparing to come play for Peko, Robert Livingston, and Warren Sapp, and now you're 4 days from spring practice, and you have no idea what just happened, and all those guys are gone.
You're not going to want to go there.
That is crazy.
You're done. You're out. You're going to say, hey, look, I want to enter the transfer portal for the 5th time. That's what these kids are doing anyway.
Man.
And it's so quiet up there. Like, I can't wait for spring ball to actually happen so that we can hear from Coach Prime. The last time we heard from Coach Prime, it was on ESPN. Was it ESPN? Or was it on where was Prime at where he was like, hey, we fixed it?
That was the week of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I forget what outlet. Oh, it was ESPN on First Take.
ESPN First Take.
With
where
Cam
he said, hey,
Newton
we fixed it.
Yeah, yep.
You know, we fixed the problem. Don't stop watching. And now, like, people are going to tune in because they want to know what's going on in Boulder. It's been very, very quiet, and there's a bunch of moving parts, huge moving parts that just don't make sense as of right now, why you would get rid of coaching staff or why the coaching staff would want to leave right before spring ball starts. Very
interesting. I mean, I'm so curious about so many things. Was this a Warren Sapp departure well, it's just so late in the process. You're starting spring ball this week. So I was going to say, was this a planned event? But if it's just coming out today, days before spring practice starts, I would think not. I'm guessing there. What were the actual conversations being had behind the scenes with someone like Robert Livingston? Was the university as blindsided as we were yesterday, or did he make them aware that, hey, this could be happening? Please, potentially, prepare for this if I am leaving.
I don't see why he would keep everybody in the dark when you're going down the street if you're Robert Livingston.
Sure.
There had to have been a conversation. Also, you don't want to taint your name by just up and leaving a situation where you're getting paid $1.6 million and not given a reason why. The reason why I'm leaving, that's all I want to know is, like, Robert Livingston, why are you taking this huge pay cut? Why are you going down the street for the Denver Broncos when you had 1 or 2 years on your contract? I think one more, you're going to make 1.6. Like, there were conversations had to be had in that situation.
You're probably right. Plus, since he took the interview with the Dallas Cowboys,
yes,
right. You're already going down that road. So maybe they were very aware of his potential departure. I don't know what to make of the Warren Sapp thing here today. He's out. Marshall Faulk moved on.
He did.
As well. So, yeah, I don't know what to think, Phil. I have no idea what to think. But I'm so curious because he has been so quiet outside of his, morning, a message on social media. He has done less talking than ever. I mean, he has been a motor mouth, and it's like the silence is almost piercing from here to Boulder. And that will come to an end next week because he will be behind a microphone again for spring practice. I am fascinated to hear what we learn next week. And will it be all the bravado? There's nothing to see here. We're good. Like, without all these guys.
He's going to have to answer some questions. Your DC just left. All right, he was under contract. Warren Sapp leaves. What's going on? Did you make these decisions? Did you know about them? You got to be honest about something that's going on up there for us.
All right, I have a leftover thought about Davis Webb and doing his job, his new job, for the very first time, and I'll share those thoughts with you coming up next.
By trading away Sam Girard, are the Avalanche preparing to make another big move at the deadline?
Look, we got to figure out what he's going to do on the ice, but I think this is a smart move. You're getting out of a contract. You're getting out of a player that's a little bit of a liability when the postseason comes because of that size on the back end. You're getting a little bigger, and you're getting freed up money at the end of the season. I think this is a really good first move from Chris.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus an extra $100 off all mattresses. And Saturday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Still haven't filed your taxes? You're not alone, but the longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties, interest, letters, none of it goes away on its own. At Advanced Tax Solutions, resolving IRS problems is all they do. Whether you're a year behind or 10, their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, stop the stress, and help you get back on track. Don't let another day slip by. A quick call could mean a quick resolution. Contact my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions today and take control of your tax situation before the IRS does.
Free barbecue. Yep, absolutely free barbecue. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs, the barbecue lawyer at 303 Law 4040. It's 2026, and we are taking our free meal program to the next level, and I want you to help spread the word with me if you can. I got a brand new smoker, and this thing's a beast. It's over 6 feet tall, so we can cook that 1,000 pounds of free barbecue each and every month. Here's what you do. It's Eastern Hills Community Church, 4 to 6 p.m. every first and third Thursday. I'm smoking up delicious pulled pork pork or my addictive copycat Chipotle recipe, and we're serving it up for free. You just get in line, you pop the trunk, we put free groceries in your trunk, and then we ask you how many meals you need for the night. It's that simple. No questions asked. It's at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road every first and third Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word. And if you have any questions, you can always call me. The Barbecue Lawyer's number is 303-LAW-4040.
The AutoNation Flash Sale is on for 1 week only. Drive with 0 down plus 0 payments till June. Don't wait. Save on thousands of new cars and trucks. All your favorite makes and models. 0 down plus 0 payments till June. We'll even buy your car and pay you top dollar on the spot. Don't miss this limited time event. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation.
Appraisal subject to verification. 60-month max term financing on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details. Expires 2/28/26.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, National Western Complex. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. National Western Complex. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. National Western Complex. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. National Western Complex. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. National Western Complex. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. National Western Complex. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, final segment here on a Thursday. I got leftover thoughts on Davis Webb doing his job for the first time. Rolling. And we got Will Peterson, friend of the show, the scrappy one, the scrapster. Scrap Peterson. What up, Will?
What up, boys?
Scrappy. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Fresh vacation, Turks and Caicos. How was it?
Look at you, man.
It was great. I did not go to Turks and Caicos.
You got a tan and everything.
Did I?
Yeah.
I
did
have
not
two
get a tan.
colors, Phil. White and red. Those are my two
That's what I
colors.
said. Your tan's red.
Seriously, you have a good trip?
I did. It was a great time. Great time.
And it was Bahamas, right?
I went to the Bahamas, and then I spent some time in Florida. Went to spring training baseball game, which is always fun. So much more relaxed. Spring training baseball is the best. It's so chill.
Dante, say what you just said on the air. Hey, here's a new rule, Dante. Here's a new rule.
Uh-oh.
Here's a new rule, bud. I was thinking about this yesterday. If you get in my ear and say something when you're live, I can share it on the air. Because I'm doing a radio show, and you're in my ear making jokes. So it's now, beyond this day, you've been warned. If I'm live doing the show and you're in my ear cracking jokes, it's shareable.
Just Dante, what happened?
I was telling Zach he has to do the send-off. Do you want me to announce every little thing through?
Oh, my God.
That's the whole point of being able to talk to you behind.
No. When we're live. When we're live. All right.
Yeah, sometimes I have to transfer information to you.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, calling all wrestling fans, we have your chance to go to Vegas for the biggest pro wrestling event in the world. It's the Superfan Send-Off presented by 303 Law 4040. Here's what you get. A pair of 2-night tickets to the event, round-trip airfare for 2 from Denver to Las Vegas, 2 nights hotel stay, and a $500 Visa gift card. For more info and to enter, head to DenverSports.com/superfan. Will, a lot happened since the last time you were here with us.
Yeah, a lot went down.
And one of the biggest is Sean Payton is giving up play calling. And I gave Phil a lot of credit. He's been saying it for over a month that this thing is going to happen. Play calling is getting handed over. It's not going to be so much hybrid. It's going to be Davis Webb show. That's mostly what it sounded like earlier in the week. Real quick, what was your takeaway there?
Man, I think this came from above. And I know you guys just had James Palmer on, and I was listening, driving in, and he doesn't think so necessarily. He thinks he said Sean's very self-aware. And I was like, interesting way to describe Sean Payton from our guy James Palmer. I think this came from the tippy top. I don't think Sean did this without maybe a gentle nudge or maybe a big nudge from Greg Penner. That was my overwhelming takeaway from it. Sean wasn't going to give this up unless someone who signs his checks and is his boss, and people can say, the GM's his boss. I don't think so. I think Sean has one boss. It's Greg Penner. So it's not too hard to figure out who sort of nudged this decision, at least in my eyes. I don't know that.
So we feel the same way.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil, I don't know if you want me to tee you up or you want to do it yourself, but
I love your tee-ups.
Well,
just like I love your teases.
Well,
you do a great job, Z.
You've done a little bit of legwork on this, and you mentioned the other day, people talk. There's a lot of people in that building, and after doing some homework, you've sort of heard a whisper that this did not happen in a vacuum, just Sean Payton on his own accord.
No. I mean, I think that, there's a lot that goes into that. When you have Sean Payton, which, by the way, his identity as a coach has been being a play caller, right? Mastermind of calling these plays. And I actually wanted to play for Sean when I was in the league because of the way that he called his plays, and the way he got the running backs involved. And when you have a coach like that takes pride in it, they're not going to just want to step down to a 31-year-old young hotshot by the name of Davis Webb. You're doing that because somebody is telling you, hey, look, it may be time for you to step down because of some of the things you did not do right. Now, I could be right. I could be wrong with it. Maybe there was things that happened in that game, the AFC Championship that is, that did not go right, that nobody is talking about because nobody knows what actually went down. Maybe there's a couple plays that we don't talk about that they know went wrong that could have actually been the reason why the Denver Broncos lost the game or put them in a bad situation. And then you go back and you talk to the head man. The head man said, hey, look, I've talked to many people about what just went down, and I think it's time for us to have you be the CEO, and let's give this young guy that we all admire a shot to call plays. And I'm going to make that decision for you. Let's do that part and see how it goes. You can always take back play calling duties. Maybe that's what happened.
So do you think the 4th and 1 sort of was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I think that there may have been a bigger play that happened that gave momentum back to the New England Patriots.
The Jarrett Stidham turnover.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But there's also nuance to the play that is unknown to the public that may have been shared with Phil.
Well, whose fault was it? Was it Stidham's or was it Tyler Bidet?
No, I mean, if it's Stidham's or Tyler Bidet, do you think that Sean would be?
You think it was Sean's fault?
Down? Sean's the man that's calling all these plays.
It could have been the wrong play call. Maybe the running back was lined up on the wrong side.
Yeah. Could have been.
Okay, could have been. Okay. In terms of Davis Webb doing a job for the first time, we talked yesterday. Hey, like you do something for the first time, it could go bumpy. Not always. Not always. Sometimes there are just people who are phenomenal in their space, and they come out of the gate, and they're just great. And I'm thinking of Jimi Hendrix, his first album, Are You Experienced, back in 1987. It's considered one of the 10 greatest albums of all time. It was his first album. Notorious B.I.G., 1994, releases Ready to Die. That was his first album. It's considered one of the greatest of all time. It was a actress, Julie Andrews, had never appeared in a film before. She did for the first time in 1964, and she won Best Actress for it. You know what her character name was? Mary Poppins. All right? Jennifer Hudson took acting classes and got a role in Dreamgirls. Her first film ever. She won Best Supporting Actress. All right? You look at Jim Brown, walked in the league as a rookie, won the league MVP. I'm sitting next to a guy who had no NFL experience and walked in the league and was a 1,000-yard running back. So you can look across, George Seifert gets promoted within the San Francisco 49ers, won a Super Bowl in his first year. Red Miller was promoted for the Denver Broncos, went to the Super Bowl, the Broncos' first ever Super Bowl in 1977. That was his first year. So you can look at athletes, coaches, musicians, actors and actresses. Like sometimes when you have it, you just have it. And maybe Davis Webb has it.
Radio hosts, Zach Bye coming to Denver. Rocking a number one show with Brandon Stokely.
How about that?
Phillip Lindsay coming to radio. Rocking a number one show with Zach Bob.
Some people just have it.
Some people just have it.
Goodness.
Make it look easy, don't you, Z?
Well, you know what Calvin Booth said. I made it look easy. Got myself fired. All right. We're going to leave it there for now, guys. We have already a fun show planned for you guys. Tomorrow on a Friday, we'll talk to you at 2 o'clock. We step aside for now. It's Denver Sports Tonight coming up next.
Should upgrading the running back room be the top priority for Sean Payton this offseason?
This is not some Christian McCaffrey deal, but it's also not some bargain shopping. It's somewhere in between. You need to address this with a heavy hand. Breece Hall represents that. He's number one on my free agent big board.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here. And when you're dealing with joint pain, you don't want just guesswork. You want a real plan, guys. And that's why I send people to Regen RX in Denver. Their professionalism is on another level. The moment you walk through those doors, they break everything down for you. Maybe it's the Wharton's jelly to support the joint. Maybe it's the shockwave therapy to wake that blood flow back up. Whatever the case may be, they're going to sit you down and map it out step by step. And they're not going to just treat you once and disappear. No. At Regen RX, they even build a 6-month booster to keep your results feeling strong. That's how you know they're serious about your long-term performance. But here's the thing that everybody loves the most. The consultation is completely free. You heard me, it's free. No risk, no commitment, just real answers. If you're dealing with degenerative joints or pain that's slowing you down, this is your chance to see if their treatments work for you. Look, if joint pain is stealing that explosiveness, your confidence, your ability to keep up with your kids, stop pushing through it. Your quality of life matters. You matter. So give RegenRx a call today at 303-630-9770 or visit them at regenrx.co. Again, it's regenrx.co for your free consultation. Invest in your future self and let them know that Phillip Lindsay sent you.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text ROAD to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text ROAD to 323232 right now. Text ROAD to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's ROAD to 32